Your patience. This Community Redevelopment Agency meeting is called to order. Who do we have for invocation?
Maybe it was Lynn. Wasn't it Lynn? So we do a moment of silence.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, she's not here. Okay, so can we please stand for a moment of silence? Then we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. All right, clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
Miranda. Here. Maniscalco. Hurtak. Clendenin.
Here.
Carlson. Vera.
Here.
Young.
Here.
We have physical form.
Thank you. All right, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes from the July 23rd, 2026 meeting? We have a motion from Board Member Maniscalco, second from Board Member Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have Director McCray is not in today, so we have Ms. Brenda Thrower.
Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
Sorry, good morning, CRA Board. Brenda Thrower. I am the CRA Development Manager for Ybor City and West Tampa, and I'm here to fill the role, the big role of Director McCray. And I have our colleagues here with me as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Pardon me?
Any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
No? Okay, all right, thank you. All righty, and we have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion from Board Member Vieira, second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor? Any opposed? And that is with Board Member Hurtak being absent. Okay, Attorney Shepherd, are you on?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you please give the rules for public comment?
Yes, ma'am. Members of the public are allowed a reasonable opportunity at the beginning of the CRA meeting to address any item on the agenda before the CRA takes official action on an item. However, a 3-minute time limit applies to all speakers providing public comment unless such time frame is modified by a vote of the CRA board. Speakers and members of the public are also reminded that they are to refrain from disruptive behavior, including making vulgar or threatening remarks, or making or causing disruptive noises or sounds, or displaying signs or graphics. Speakers are also reminded to refrain from launching personal attacks. The chair will rule out of order any person who speaks without being recognized or attempts to address the CRA from outside the speaker area at the podium. Persons failing to comply with the CRA's rules may also be ruled out of order and, at the discretion of the chair, may be removed from the chambers for the remainder of that day's meeting. Finally, CRA board members are reminded that they should refrain from engaging a speaker under public comment. The City Council rules as revised June 6, 2024 are now in effect for the CRA board unless otherwise exempted by or overridden by the CRA bylaws.
Thank you. We have one online speaker, Mr. Michael Randolph. We'll start there, and then anyone else for public comment, please line up against the wall. Mr. Randolph, are you on?
Yes, good morning. My name is Michael Randolph. I want to talk about Councilman Costin's proposed shift and how we finance the new stadium, a step in the direction. This issue matters to our community. A recent poll drew over 2,000 views and 60 comments in a short window. Tampa residents will watch closely with the votes. Here's the core idea. Instead of taxpayers put the bill up front, Carson's plan captures new property revenue from the Ray's Entertainment District through tax incentive finance. Smart policy. We need guaranteed minimum payments and performance triggers if development slows down, so the city doesn't play for the cost. We also need to expand the revenue quarter to Hillsborough Avenue Del Maybe, and Columbus, spreading benefits throughout the city. Developers should co-invest in roads, drainage, and transits, not to leave that to taxpayers alone. Every dollar of public involvement needs real transparency, a public oversight board, quarterly report, and a financial model outline. Finally, most importantly, this just can't benefit the entertainment district. Surrounding low-income neighborhoods deserve real investment, protection from displacement, support for small businesses, healthcare, food access, and job training, and a community grant to fund this. Carson has the right idea. Our job is to make sure the details protect taxpayers and neighborhoods equally. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Maida Martinez, AKA Mimi. I am a current East Tampa CRA Community Advisory Committee member. The purpose of me being here today is to represent the East Tampa CAC, and I do have their blessing to be here to talk on their behalf. We wanted to give you an important update of what we talked about at our August 4th meeting. We talked about 2 very important matters that will impact the future of the East Tampa CRA, and that's the raise deal and Amendment 3. We wanted to be publicly on record to come before you and ask you to please move forward with extending the East Tampa CRA sunset deadline from 2034 to a later date. If we can get the 30 years, that is great, but we wanted to officially say that we do support that. And why is this important? The East Tampa CRA territory is one of the largest in the state of Florida. We have 14 neighborhoods and each one is distinct. Each one is working the best way they can to remove the slum and blight in their neighborhoods. Some of these neighborhoods have strongholds for decades, and it's going to take time to untangle. We also know that the East Tampa population will increase by the end of the decade. So we are not going to fulfill everything we need to fulfill by 2034. We need more time so that we can continue to roll out projects and plans and grants and resources to sustain our growing population. So what do we need? We need information. We need to understand what the current city and county interlocal agreement is, and we want to make sure that when it's renegotiated, it's a fair deal for us. Mr. Felix Nunez did provide us a current city-county interlocal agreement to all the ETCAC members because we did request that at our August 4th meeting. So we all had an opportunity to review that. I reviewed that and I understand it. I just want a fair deal. So what are the actions the CAC took? So we requested that the CRA staff host a special call meeting within the 30 days because this deal is moving fast. We want to be able to present to the East Tampa residents 3 points. 1, an explanation of what the city-county interlocal agreement is, what is the process, and what is the timeline. 2, we need a financial analysis to see if Amendment 3 does get approved, how that's going to impact our TIF revenue. And most importantly, we need to prepare and plan because if that revenue is going to change, we need to figure out what are our project priorities and what can we reasonably complete with a potentially new revenue if Amendment 3 passes. And finally, we want to partner with you. We want to engage with you. We want to partner with you to make sure that this special call meeting does come, that we do have it on the books within 30 days because we need to protect the East Tampa residents. Things are moving fast. There's a lot of things in the news. We want to make sure that accurate information is being sent out to people and we represent them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Vicky Tong, and I am a concerned community member, and I'm also a member of the Tampa Immigrants' Rights Committee. I'm standing here today to demand that the Tampa City Council pass an ordinance to end the 287G agreement. First, this agreement is an irresponsible use of taxpayer dollars. This agreement uses taxpayer dollars to train the Tampa Police Department in federal immigration enforcement tactics, effectively allowing TPD to act as immigration enforcement. So far, $430,000 have been put to TPD's immigration enforcement training. No taxpayer dollars should have been allocated to this training to begin with. Our organization has seen the impact of ICE not just across the country, but ICE has already been and harmed the Tampa Bay area. ICE is targeting Latino small businesses and communities in Tampa. ICE is in our neighborhoods, ripping immigrant families apart. TPD should have no part in this and should not be collaborating with agencies like ICE. More immigration enforcement does not make our communities safer. We have seen across the country and even cities in Florida that ICE murders both advocates of immigrant rights like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, as well as immigrants like Lorenzo Salgado Araujo and Juan Sebastian Guerrero. In 2025, the Supreme Court ruled that ICE can racially profile citizens. TPD should have no part in this. Immigration enforcement under Trump has led to a rapid increase in deaths by the hands of federal immigration enforcement within communities and within inhumane detention centers. For all these reasons and more, I'm here to demand that Tampa City councilors act in the interest of their constituents, many of whom are immigrants themselves, and take a stand against Trump and DeSantis by passing an ordinance to end Tampa's 287G agreement. Thank you.
Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Ibrahim Moxdam. I'm a Tampa resident since 2018, and I have been speaking with my neighbors, with church leaders, business owners, and everyday Tampa residents. And there's always one thing that keeps coming up in these conversations, and it is the impact of ICE in our city and in our neighborhoods. We are seeing businesses lose traffic because ICE activity in our community, churches decimating and closing because of impacted communities. And we are seeing families torn apart and left to pick up the pieces like that of Tampa resident Raymundo, a loving father and husband who was stalked and ambushed by ICE officials and deported, leaving his wife and 3 children to figure out how they're going to survive without him just a few weeks ago. But that is not all, because with the expanded collaboration between ICE and local law enforcement TPD, we are seeing a transfer of culture, and the same problems that prevail over ICE and its agents move over and bolster the racist actions of local law enforcement. In our community, we are hearing continuous feedback of individuals being racially profiled, continuously being stopped and detained, and their civil rights infringed for frivolous reasons, all because they fit a specific profile and align to it, and align to a specific someone's mass deportation agenda. So as stewards of this city and its residents, I implore you to end the collaboration of ICE and local law enforcement through 287G program, and to enact an ordinance that ends the use of local law enforcement as ICE multipliers or aids them in any way. Because like the many affected families in Tampa, if Tampa does not end its 287G agreement or does anything, Tampa will be left to pick up the pieces and the effects of this egregious agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, you have 3 minutes. Please start with your name.
Hello, my name is Lorenzo. I'm a community member and a proud descendant of immigrants. I am demanding that Tampa City Council pass an ordinance ending 287G. 287G is an irresponsible and immoral use of our tax dollars, training TPD to act as immigration enforcement. So far, $430,000 has been put to TPD's immigration enforcement training. None of our taxes should be allocated to this training. Everyone born in this country who is not of indigenous descent are descended from immigrants or of those who are forced to be brought here. Though immigration has existed in these lands since the 1500s, the term illegal immigrant didn't exist until the late 1800s, after the passing of the Chinese Exclusion Act. If that sounds racist and xenophobic to you, that's because it is. More immigration enforcement does not make our community safer. In 2025, the Supreme Court ruled that ICE can racially profile civilians. If that sounds racist to you, that's because it is. Tampa should have no part in this. Locally, ICE has violated their own policies by separating nursing mothers from, like Rosa Pachistan Gomez and Heidi Sanchez Tejeda, from their children. If this were to happen to anyone in your family, I'm sure you'd be standing next to me saying how cruel and inhumane it is. The city of Tampa and its elected leadership have a responsibility of keeping its constituents safe. I know I'm a former employee of the city of Tampa. But your decision to allowing ICE and TPD to collaborate endangers all of us, whom you have sworn to protect. Also partaking in 287G agreement using ICE enforcement tactics seemingly contradicts Tampa's human rights ordinance. I demand that Tampa City Council pass an ordinance ending 287G. During these times of immense racial injustice in our nation, ending 287G in Tampa will bring our city one step closer to righteousness compared to the rest of the South. Though still far from perfect, however, I have no time to discuss that. I appreciate your time.
Excuse me, could you please give us your last name for the record?
Almanzar.
Okay, is that good, clerk? Yeah, thank you. Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
I am Ybor Montealegre from the Tampa Immigrant Rights Committee. We call on City Council to pass an ordinance to repeal its agreement in 287G, the 287G agreement that has the Tampa TPD collaborating and acting as ICE, as immigration agents. They are both, in this case, terrorizing our community. And we call on you, as representatives of the people of this city, to take action. The week before last, a couple of us met with Councilman Miranda. He claimed not to know anything about 287G. He claimed that was a mayoral issue and not a city council issue. As I understand, all issues Tampa are city council issues. Please get informed. Ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance does not let you off the hook. Your people in the city are being terrorized. Do something about it. Repeal 287G. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Courtney Prokopis. I come before you today on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Florida. It's a proudly nonpartisan organization. Our advocacy is grounded in positions that have been carefully studied and adopted through grassroots, member-driven processes. The League urges the CRA and the greater city of Tampa to end their 287G agreement. These 287G agreements are not mandated for cities, despite the state's deceptive claims to the contrary. Because local governments, like Tampa, choose whether they want to enter into and choose whether they want to maintain these agreements, municipalities have an imperative to consider their impact on equitable treatment, on community trust, and effective governance. The League's long-standing positions support fair treatment under the law, due process, equal rights and opportunities for all, family reunification, and humane, effective immigration policies. The League believes that policies should promote family unity rather than contribute to family separation. We also believe that public safety is strengthened when all residents can interact with local government and local law enforcement without fear, and when that trust between communities and public institutions is preserved. 287G agreements undermine every one of those principles that I just articulated. Our request is for the city of Tampa to end their voluntary 287G agreement. That request is not partisan. It reflects the League of Women Voters' enduring commitment to civil liberties, equal justice, family unity, and responsive government, yourselves included, that serves the entire community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, you have 3 minutes. Please start with your name.
Hello, my name is Ashley Morrow, and I'll be sharing some of Tampa's Black history. So today we're going to be talking about the Buffalo Soldiers and their arrival here in the summer of 1898. While they were here, most people that know about this story know about the incident that took place around Fort Brooke and in Ybor, where they were claimed to have destroyed and ransacked the saloons in the area. And then I'm going to talk about why that probably happened. So here's an actual photo from the port as the black soldiers were arriving here in Tampa. And it was the 9th and 10th Cavalry, that means they were on horseback, and the 24th and 25th Infantry, which means they were on foot. So Tampa was designated as the place where the war supplies would be stored, and they arrived here in April of 1898, all the soldiers and the supplies. The president was asking for volunteers, and the black soldiers responded to the call. And the reason why the Buffalo Soldiers are called the Buffalo Soldiers is claimed that the Native Americans said that they fought like warriors, and they were from out west, so they called them Buffalo Soldiers. Okay, where they stayed. So there's a marker along Central Avenue. There's a vacant piece of land. I don't know who owns that land. I probably should look that up. But anyways, there's a marker there. That is where it's claimed the 24th and 25th Infantry stayed, and the 9th Cavalry stayed at Port Tampa. 10th Cavalry was sent out to Lakeland, I guess to, stay off anybody if they came from the backside. So the soldiers were in Ybor and in town, and there was a claim that they ransacked all these saloons and they came in just roughing up everybody. Everybody's drunk, the white and black soldiers, but they were really blaming the black soldiers that were here in Tampa. Inhumane brutes. And why that says that, so it doesn't mention it to the last line of this. The Ohio soldier was responsible for it, but a black baby was held upside down by his feet, and they shot through the sleeve of his outfit. And so that's why the black soldiers were outraged, and they kind of stormed Ybor and shot it up. Okay, it's also reported in Atlanta, and it became a really big deal that it made its way out there. Some sick Georgia volunteers actually went back to Atlanta, and they saw 2 of them were wounded, and they're like, what happened? These black soldiers were down there, messing stuff up and shooting things up, and so the word got out. And the Atlanta Constitution was a white newspaper, and they explained how they should probably find some black reporters out there to go share the information. I'm going to share one more thing. I have an event coming up next week, the Beat of Tampa Bay on Wednesday, and then my first sponsored event, Unlock Your Legacy, on Saturday, next Saturday. Thank you. It's for teens only. Thank you.
Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes. If there's
Before my
anyone
time-
else that is, anyone else that's going to speak for public comment, please, if you're able, Allison, you can say I understand. Go ahead.
Before I start, I have something to pass out. Perhaps somebody could help me.
Right over here. Allison, you can sit down. You don't have to. I know you're going to speak.
First of all, my name is Maritza Asher-Kiza. I am the president of the CAC for Drew Park. Before I get started on the topic that I wanted to talk about today, as this is being passed around, I wanted to show my agreement with our friends from East Tampa on what they're saying. We absolutely, definitely all need to be involved in what is being developed with this raise deal. And if there is any CDD type of thing that's being set up, we need to have a pocket of an allocation that goes back to Drew Park for immediate and future foreseen and unforeseen things that will be happening as a result and impacting us as a result of any development that is going to be going on. So please don't forget us. Actually, you can't really forget us, okay? We are there. It's a beautiful community that is thriving and moving forward. So what I wanted to say is that for probably a year, we've been asking for details on our projects, and you have heard me here and send things to you all about the fact that our projects haven't been moving forward, and I believe we're not the only community that says so, okay, as they should be. They have been delayed for one reason or another, and what you have on here is finally, thankfully, for the tenacity of our manager, Felix, as well as the support that he received in finding this information from Nick Bennett. We have a report that shows exactly what I've been talking about, perhaps even a little bit of detail that we wanted to show you. I've been wanting to show you, and I want everybody to be able to see this, okay, that this is just one project. This is the park. It actually started in '22. In '23, we had the conceptual development design, and from '24, the service contract and development execution, and then look at the construction design. We're in 2026, folks. This is taxpayer money. It's easy to say tax money, okay, TIF. Okay, what is that? Blood, sweat, and tears. This is somebody's work. This money is not just a pocket that's called taxes. And these taxes should be in place for people. And so these projects, and this is just one of them, okay, all of them are there. all right, are supposed to be in work for the people to be enjoying the benefit of it and growing with the community with it. It doesn't do anything good for this money to be sitting in the bank. So as things are delayed, costs go up. You guys, we really need to stay on top of why these things are being delayed. And you need to be asking, in my opinion, when these things started and what the process, not just, oh, it's on track. That doesn't tell anybody anything. And I urge you to do this for the rest of the projects that other CRAs have, not just ours. It's taken me a lot to get here to present this information, and I should not have had to gone through that.
Thank you. Next speaker, start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Sorry. And one foot is for the clerk. Good morning, Chairwoman, members of the CRA Board. My name is Allison Hewitt. I'm a third-generation resident and a business owner in East Tampa. I submitted a memo to you also via email, and my comments are primarily about transparency, accountability, and follow-throughing with what the board has already discussed. So in the director's report, I really appreciate the expansion of the director's report, but the grant tracking and project tracking is not the same as accountability. First, I want to create I asked you to create outstanding board directives and commitments. That not just projects, but it's very difficult to have to search all the meeting agendas to make sure, and the minutes, to make sure we're following the directives that you have given staff on projects that are important to the community. Second, we have the East Tampa CRA-owned properties. You have 2 that are on your tracking list that were estimated to be released earlier this year, that was presented to you in February 2025. The public should know why those have not been released and what is the new timeline. Third, where is the operating agreement, the service agreement? It will be needed to review and renewed in October. Where is that on the agenda to be able to follow? We have not had the meeting to discuss the performance measures, when we'll be updated on those. And next, we have Mr. DeGeorge, who is coming to speak to you about important items in Ybor. What I ask for you to consider is to create an anti-displacement and community preservation committee. And so as people are going through projects, and rather than saying if it's in the SAP, if it's just in the state statute, also what is the impact on potentially displacement, and if there is, how do we work into that grant to be able to protect the residents and the business owners there. I will try to end with 2 simple principles. If an issue is important enough for the board to discuss, vote on, or direct the staff, it should remain visible to the board and the public until it's completed, resolved, or formally closed. And I want to thank you, Councilmember Clendenin, for your enthusiasm for the increase in East Tampa. But I ask you as a board to consider that redevelopment should not be measured about how much money comes into the community, but really whether the people and the businesses that have already been there remain, participate, and grow from the investment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Connie Burton. The liberty and justice for all, thing that we do every time we start this meeting should be measured and connected to the request of the people. The people should be able to see some form of liberty and justice. So I stand in full support of the call to end 287G. That this council, this city should have enough information now not to fall off the cliff of Donald Trump. You should know better. When we talk about the measure of the stadium and the impact that the stadium will have, say on East Tampa in distance and miles is quite a distance. But the first impact that I'm seeing that the stadium is having on the Black community is the removal of children out of that facility, out of the Department of Justice Juvenile Detention Center. No information came to the community. We don't know where the children are gonna be going. We don't know how the family's gonna stay connected to the children, but the impact is first on Black folks. What do we get as a result of all of that? We know that some little measurements and maybe some little crumbs will come to organizations, but at the end of the day, this East Tampa CRA has been asking this council, this city government to do right by the people. That you can't have a CRA that has been around for over 20 years and now we are still asking that you have an extension. It should be an automatic considering we haven't seen much progress. It should be an automatic considering that we have buildings that has been purchased by the CRA for almost 6 years and no visible improvement. Nothing but the promises and the continual hopelessness of the people because of all of the lies. I used to come up here and say, you know what? The former CRA manager should be terminated, Ed Johnson. I ain't have no problem calling his name, but I had to send that man an apology. You know why? Because it wasn't his fault. There's no reason why you should look at a CRA agenda and say, what impact, visible impact, is it going to have on the very community that has been making the demands that many of you pride yourself in saying East Tampa was the first CRA, and yet we are still poverty-driven. We need you to get moving. Some of you will be moving on to your next platform, but remember, we will remember you in saying that you was there when all of the chaos was there, when you done absolutely nothing, and do not try to tell the community that your hands was tied, because they are not. Thank you.
Thank you. Please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning. I'm Shagret Dawson. I'm going to wing this a little bit differently than I originally had anticipated, but because of President Company, who I love so dearly. But that being said, to the young people, and I don't understand why we expect humanity from people who've always shown you that they're savages, all right? And the city's endorsement of mistreatment of people reminds me of something. Actually, I saw last night an immigrant, I think it was in Ohio, was just having a drink. He's a truck driver, authorized to be here. Actually, he was a citizen, I found out later on. And a police officer, with the notion that this guy was going to potentially, and they had him on a hot mic. I wish they had a hot mic for Mike Victor and Greg Holder when they falsely had me arrested. But anyway, they had him on a hot mic saying, well, I did this, I tackled this guy, and I had him in a chokehold and a leg wrap because I thought he was gonna blow up and possibly kill 400 people at some mall. The attacker wanted to portray himself as a victim. And that's the world that we now live in. Because people had thought it was kind of cool and it was okay to sit back and just watch things go on. A lot of people sacrifice, and to the young people who are speaking now, you all need to galvanize. If you want things to change, otherwise I don't think this thing is gonna last much longer. And I'm speaking as a veteran. I don't see 30 more years in this country because you've allowed democracy to continue on cruise control. And that's how you've allowed people who have no business in positions of authority holding high office. A lot of people blame whoever's in office, and I have definitely negative thoughts about a lot of the people in office in the state of Florida. I've said it, and I'm open about it. I was going to say something about them today, but I'm going to hold that until I get on my podcast, and y'all can check that out. That's a shameless plug, of course. But the reality is, people, Article 161 of the Florida Constitution says all rights are inherent in the people, and the enumeration herein should not be construed as deny or impair those rights retained by the people. People, you, young people especially, there's way more of y'all than there are of us. I'm almost 60. I have no crazy illusion that I'm gonna live forever. And I understand what the people whose shoulders I stand upon, who one's gonna come and speak later on, have laid for me. My generation may have dropped the ball with some of you young folks. You young folks need to stand up and let your voices be heard. I too think it's heinous that the city of Tampa has, I think it might be even an issue of ultra-virus authority you've given to these police officers that work with the federal government. That being said, shout out to the greatest institution of higher learning in the city of Tampa, the University of Thomas Jefferson High School.
Thank you. Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, I am Brian Cortez with the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party. We are seeking independence for Puerto Rico, but not just that, we also stand with our Latino brothers and sisters. I am a veteran. I was infantry in the Army for 4 years. I've seen my friends die, and I can tell you, they didn't die for this. Despite being a colony of the United States, despite me being born with U.S. citizenship, I am still treated as a second-class citizen. How is that? How is it that an ICE agent can pull me over because of the color of my skin and tell me that I do not belong here? Florida was initially a Spanish colony. Tampa was founded by Cubans. How can the colonizers sit here and tell us, the people that were born from colonization, that we do not belong here? We are treated like animals. I have friends at work who are scared. Their visas were revoked out of nowhere. Their cases dropped. They have no help. And they want them to wear ankle monitors now, like they are prisoners. You want them out of this land, but you treat them like prisoners, like animals. How does that make any sense? How am I a veteran, an American citizen, and I am treated like an animal?
Thank you. Next speaker, please start with your name. You have 3 minutes.
Ernest Coney Jr. with the CDC of Tampa. When we look at the CRAs, as Connie Burton was kind of mentioning, some of the things that are challenges for us. One, I don't think we take full advantage of every economic opportunity. Our strategic plan talks about job creation, commercial districts, but then when it's time to build those, there's always something that gets in the way of that. For example, we're getting ready to do a lot of development. There's no local hiring preferences for folks in the East Tampa CRA to get them on these job sites. I think we do a great job of having disadvantaged WMBE type programs, but there's nothing to help drive those who don't have a business. Some people have businesses, and we need to get more of those included, but there's a lot of folks who are hurting who don't have businesses that can get careers started in the construction trades and other trades that do not have access to these great jobs. The Rays are getting ready to build a stadium. Have we thought through how we're going to integrate workforce opportunities? There's stuff in downtown going on right now. Are there residents in downtown or residents in other CRAs from a local hiring preference or a local hiring opportunity to get young folks opportunities on these jobs? We have to start thinking through this process because there's people out here hurting. Every single day we have people coming to us, to our organization, saying, I need a job. And they see cranes and they see other people working, they see other people getting jobs, but nothing for them, and they pay taxes as well. So how do we really think through this process of making sure that there's opportunities for local hires, there's also opportunities for these small businesses to get opportunities. And then when it's time to do development, it's not only about building housing, it's also about building business centers and commercial districts. So when we come to the CRA and ask for funding for these things, why are we being told, no, we can't build business districts in our communities? It doesn't make any sense. So we need your help, we need your guidance. We'll be coming back to you guys to really figure this thing out, but we have to build these systems. Ybor City was built that way, downtown was built this way, but now it's time for East Tampa to be built. We can't get it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, you have 3 minutes. If there's anyone else that wants to speak during public comment, could you please line up against the wall if you're able? Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy O'Gara. The whole state looks to the city of Tampa for leadership. In the Tampa Bay area, you guys are the leaders. I know so many people that are afraid to go on record for opposing the 287G agreement. The governor of the state of Florida is threatening municipalities by saying he will withhold funds if people are not complicit in upholding the community the police departments are not complicit in upholding the 287G agreement, which it's not well defined. There's nothing in the 287G agreement that says that the local municipalities need to be complicit with a governmental agency that is hiring people and on hire telling them they will not be held accountable for crimes committed while they're in the line of duty. So nobody signed an agreement saying that they would agree to work with an agency that is murdering people, exposing them to things that are unconstitutional. Because all of our municipalities are saying, well, there's a law that we need to be complicit and assist with immigration and deportation and the ICE agents. It doesn't say anything about taking children from their families, giving people maggots in their food, putting ankle bracelets on people, acting like people are dirt. So I'm asking you to please lead the way. Show the rest of Florida what it looks like to say we are not going to be treated like we have to do things that we know are illegal. Seriously, you guys could be the ones to make it happen. And I know that there's organizations of city councils and mayors and stuff. Create a posse. It is hard to stand by yourself. That's why it's so powerful to have a group. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Do we have anyone else for public comment? Okay, I had two lights that came on. Board Member Carlson and Board Member Clendenin, do you two want to make quick
Are you gonna
comments?
jump on the immigration thing too?
I may hit it.
Okay. I just want to say this, and I can't speak for my colleagues. First of all, this is the CRA board, not the city council. We're the same people, but today we're as CRA. But I can say that city council, since I've been sitting on it, has been very protective of civil rights and human rights, and we've tried to correct the mistakes of the last two administrations and how they've overstepped that. City council is the place where it's the public town square where the public can come and talk about the issues that are a concern of them. Some of them the city council can address, some of them the mayor can address, some of them other agencies address. In this case, we have been briefed on this issue before, and are talking about the immigration issue, and we expressed our concerns. I don't remember when it was. What as I understood happened, we were briefed months ago, my colleagues could correct me, but the former police chief approved that contract without city council approval. I don't know if the mayor approved it or not. The charter is clear that all the staff in the city report to the mayor and the departments report to the mayor. And what I would encourage everybody to do is set up an appointment with the mayor. Her email is jane.caster@tampagov.net, and she has a political director, Marley Wilkes. You can contact her and discuss this. But the mayor is the one that can change this. She can get the new police chief to unsign it or change it in some way, but it was not an act of city council. City council did not approve that at all, and I don't think we would have. But because we have two branches of government, city council is very limited in what we could do. And sometimes people get frustrated because they want us to do something, but if it's not in our power, we can't. And so I would encourage you to meet with the mayor, and if the mayor refuses, her office is next door, go stand out in front until she talks to you. Thank you.
Board Member Clendenin?
Yeah, just quickly. One, I think everybody needs to understand that the politics of the folks, the 7 people that sit up here are probably aligned with what you guys are talking about than we can talk about at these meetings. But that being said, so much of this is outside of the control of the city of Tampa, and the real action is the legislature, the governor, and the cabinet, and particularly our attorney general, who issued a warning to the city of Tampa that they threatened to remove the mayor over this issue because we weren't enforcing these things. So we have a, you know, the local control is eroded in the state of Florida. The legislature, the governor and the cabinet continues to chip away at it every day, not just civil rights, but all rights of municipalities and counties are being ripped away from us. Every day we wake up, it's a new attack on local governments and the people in the city in the state of Florida. So, you know, elections are coming up in November. That's all I'll say on to that. That being said, my reason I put the light on is a little point of privilege. We have a birthday girl in the house today. Robin Lockett, today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robin. Happy birthday to you. And thank you for being such a great champion and a great citizen.
Oh, yes, yes. You got it. Board member Maniscalco, and then I got you.
Yep. Thank you, Ms. Lockett. We're very proud of you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And happy birthday to my sister and my grandfather in heaven. So August 20th is a big deal. Happy birthday.
Could I have one small?
Thank you. Okay.
I just want to say happy birthday to Robin, but for anybody who doesn't know Robin, Robin is one of the top advocates for affordable housing in Tampa, along with Connie Burton, and they come almost every week, and because of their advocacy and fearlessness, we've made a lot of policy changes in the last few years, so thank them for their advocacy.
Thank you. All righty. Thank you all. Thank you, board, for your comments. And just, you know, for everyone that came to speak today, just acknowledging you all coming down here and using, you know, your civic duty to come to speak to us. Please know that we hear you, we've heard you, and I just appreciate you all taking the time to come downtown and to continue to be advocates. And also, big happy birthday to Robin Lockett, my mentor, awesome person, and I'm happy to see you sitting right there, front row, and always being an advocate for the community. So, all right, our personal privileges are done. All right, Ms.
Good morning. Good morning. Brenda Thrower, CRA Development Manager. The Tampa Heights CRA is the highlight for this month, and today we have Raj Patel, who's the CAC Chair, who's here to give a few comments and highlights of what's happening in Tampa Heights Riverfront. Raj?
Good morning, board members. Raj Patel, Tampa Heights CAC Chair. Just some updates in our neighborhood. In May, the CRA board.
Oh, I am so sorry, Mr. Patel. How much time do you think you need?
Probably 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll give you 3.
Oh, thank you. So in May, the CRA board voted to approve $80,000 addition to the Wayfinding program. And so that's subject, obviously, to your approval today. And then once that gets approved, it'll go into production for that project. I think it's been in the works for a couple years now. February, new ADA equipment, playground equipment was installed at Waterworks Park. So thank you to the Parks and Rec and the CRA staff for getting that done. Great addition to what I think is probably our greatest park. And then the Palm Avenue and North Boulevard's roundabout sculpture. So in September, we went for a RFP for artists. We had 130 artists. We whittled that down to 3. And finally, we awarded it to an artist named Dulk. And so I believe probably around October, November next year would be the install, but that's already been awarded. And I think the arts department is already working on the contracts to get that done. So I'll be very excited to see the community's feedback once that is installed. We're still working on finding a artwork for the Highland roundabout, but hopefully in the next few months we'll get that sorted out. And then finally, the Lieutenant Baldomero Lopez sculpture, that's being installed in the next few weeks here, directly to the right of the Waterworks Park sign. So when you're coming off I-275 off the ramp, it'll be the Waterworks Park sign, and then his statue. That install date is still to be determined, but it'll be in the next few weeks. And that's all I have for Tampa Heights.
Thank you. Any questions? Does the board have any questions? No? Thank
All
you
right.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Brenda Thrower, CRA Development Manager. So I'm here to deliver the Director's Report on behalf of Cedric McCray. So let's kick off with talking about the project trackers. Those are routine, they're in your packet. You should be receiving those every month, and those also are passed out to the CACs on a monthly basis. I'd like to highlight, though, the commercial grants. Just kind of want to put an announcement into public record here that a friendly reminder to the CRA board and community business owners within the CRA boundaries that the Cycle 1 application window for the commercial special projects and development grants will open on September 1st, 2006, and close on November 1st, 2006. If a commercial business or property owners are interested in applying, please reach out to schedule a consultation meeting as soon as possible. They can call the office at 813-274-8325, or they could submit inquiries through the website at tampa.gov, CRAs, and community redevelopment areas. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that the grant program is opening up, and I know the grants team has been very already entertaining consultations up until now. Are there any questions about the reports? Okay.
Any questions? No? Okay.
Okay, great. Second thing I'd like to report on is Florida Redevelopment Week. The FRA is doing something new this year, and they have designated the week of September 14th through the 18th as Florida Redevelopment Week. And so Tampa, as you know, we're very active with the Florida Redevelopment Association. We are going to participate. We've got plans to do a very robust social media campaign with some videos highlighting some of the projects that we've been involved with in each of the CRAs, as well as we're going to have an open house at the East Tampa CRA office on that Friday. So we're going to get a lot of publicity about this, but what we'd really like is for CRA board to maybe recognize this week and consider maybe a commendation that could be for next month on September 10th.
Yes. Link, yeah.
Do you need to read
Mm-hmm.
something? Okay.
I just text Bella, I think I left it on my desk, but we will do that.
Okay, I think we need a motion
Oh, we
from
need a
the
motion.
board.
Okay, I have a motion from.
And I can read it if you'd like, or do you want, okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
CRA board, Tampa CRA board present a commendation at the next CRA board meeting on September 10th, recognizing Florida Redevelopment Week in the city of Tampa to be observed September 14th through 18th.
We have a motion by Board Member Clendenin, a second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you so much, and we'll be getting a lot of publicity too about all of that. The third thing I have is the newsletter. It's on your desk up there on the dais. We're doing these quarterly, so we're getting them out. These highlight activities. We tried to pick one that for each of the districts, as well as some highlight of an article, things that we're doing. It's all positive. And also on the back, I just want to bring attention to all of our social media channels that we have. We really are building a following, and we always encourage the community to like and follow, because they get a lot of information about what's happening, including like Florida Redevelopment Week and the grant programs opening up and so forth. So that's for you, and we do pass these out to the CAC. We also put them out as an e-newsletter through with our partners with HCP, so they help us get that out. Any questions about that? Okay.
Board Member Clendenin?
Do we mail these to anybody as well?
We don't mail them. We really, we have them out because it's very expensive, but we could, but we haven't done that in the past. We really use them as through our social media channels, as well as getting them out to the community. We will have them on hand for our open houses, any outreach we do. We only print about around 200 of them right now to just kind of get them out, but we're happy to target them somewhere if you have a preference. No problem. Okay, and last but not least, on behalf of Director McCray, I'd like to take a moment just to recognize Melissa Martinez. Sorry. She's our CRA Senior Project Supervisor, who is retiring, so it's bittersweet, and today will be her last CRA board meeting. So, Melissa.
One last time. Good morning. I had it all prepared
We're
today.
not applauding that you're leaving.
Melissa Martinez, for one last time, Melissa Martinez, Senior Project Supervisor for the Tampa CRA. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. I've been working for the city for 18 years. The last 4 years has been with the Tampa CRA. I've learned a lot every day. Even last week, I was learning a new system. So I really appreciate the time, appreciate the staff and my staff. I saw them walking in and I knew something was happening. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this time.
And if we could, since her staff is here and it's her last meeting, if you would let her have a picture with you at the dais, would that be okay? Okay, come on, team. And this is her project team back here. Nick, come on up. Project team. Yes, Corey Robinson, Nick Bennett. Go up there. Yeah. I'll take a picture. We'll take the picture. Yes. Thank you.
Let's take a few.
Yeah, last year was my last year. I did that for 10 years. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So she's still working, so she will be here for the meeting. We have a few items that we may need Ms. Martinez to be a part of. Okay, so that concludes the director's report. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board for the director's report? No? All right. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
All right, so next item on the agenda is item number 3. It's a resolution seeking your approval for the construction between the CRA and the Jackson's House Foundation. You've already approved of the supporting this project. Today is the funding agreement. That is before you, and it has been signed by the parties, and I believe Dr. Collins is in the room. Thank you.
Board Member Maniscalco?
As always, I've always supported the Jackson House, and I'm glad to see Dr. Collins here, who's been a champion since before day one. And recently we celebrated the beginning of the restoration of the Guida House in West Tampa, outside the CRA boundaries, and some folks were asking, what about the Jackson House? Well, we don't own it. The Guida House is a property that the city of Tampa does have. The Jackson House is part of the foundation. It's more complicated layers. But again, I'm excited that this is moving forward, that we continue to move forward. We've always supported it up here. And, once it's done, it's going to be very, very exciting. That's it.
Okay.
Move the resolution.
Second. I got you. Board Member Carlson?
Yeah, I've been a huge advocate for the Jackson House for a long time, and talked to Linda Salcena, who, when the last mayor tried to tear it down, Linda came in as city council, and city council saved the Jackson House. But nothing has happened since then. Nothing. There's been very little that's happening to it. It's falling apart. There's some documents here that say that we allocated this money in 2022. As best I can tell, it was 2019. And you can blame the administration or whomever for not advancing the money. The Jackson House Foundation thought it was coming from the city because of the mayor's press conference. But my concern is nothing's happening, and every time the Jackson House Foundation says that there's a reason why they can't do anything, we correct that problem. and then they come up with a new excuse and we correct that problem, and then they come up with a new excuse and we correct that problem. I don't have confidence in them to fix this building. And we've suggested buying it from them in the past. We've suggested taking it over. But they get lots of publicity and blame everybody else for not fixing the building, but the building's going to fall apart. And so I think we ought to add a clause or a sentence, I talked to Cliff about this earlier, that says if they don't repair this building within a year, that we withdraw this money. It's been sitting there since 2019 in an account, and the Jackson House Foundation has got to do something, or they need to sell it to somebody or turn it over to somebody who's going to save it. If they don't intend to save it, which appears to be true, then they need to let somebody else save it. If the city controlled this building, we would have saved it by now. I'm tired of seeing the posts over and over again about how the city is not saving it when we allocated the money through the CRA many, many years ago. And so I would make a motion to add a clause, and Cliff said we can add this, verbally, but add a clause that says that this contract and money expire a year. Keep in mind, it's been available since 2019. That it expires a year from now if the Jackson House Foundation has not substantially renovated the building.
Second.
Okay, so what did you want to do?
Yeah,
Well, hold on, I'm sorry. Miranda and then you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And now I'm speaking for not only myself, but for other council members that are not here that I've served with in the past. Not one ever has voted against it that I know of. And some things in life take a little longer, and sometimes when it takes a little longer, you do it a little bit better. Thank you very much.
Board Member Clendenin.
I mean, I think I share everybody's frustration with the speed of this particular issue. And we saw some of the recent damage just in the last couple of weeks with a cave-in on the side of the house. It is extraordinarily frustrating that it's taken so long, and I understand some of the challenges that have happened in the past, and with right-of-ways and all that. But I agree with Councilman or Board Member Carlson today that we probably have to have some kind of a stop dead instead of an ongoing thing. There needs to be some type of deadline on this to move forward, because if this goes on any further, there won't be a Jackson House to restore.
Board Member Vieira, and then I want to allow, because we do have Jackson House Foundation here, so.
I was going to, and thank you, Madam, and the sentiments expressed by Councilman Carlson on putting an additional sense of urgency are obviously very well taken, but I would like to, before voting, hear from the representatives of the Jackson House on it, because again, those sentiments are well taken, but I'd like to hear the rebuttal, whatever you want to call it.
Would you like to invite
Do you want to speak,
Dr. Collins? Will you please come up to the podium? Thank you.
Do I need to give my name?
Yes, just your name.
Start with your name.
Dr. Carolyn Collins, Chair of the Jackson House Foundation, Inc. And this is...
My name is Dr. Angela Scott, the Vice Chair of the Jackson House Foundation.
Let me just thank you guys for all of the years of support. It's amazing that I found out from Councilman Ben Carson about 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, that we even had the money. We didn't even know we had the money. Ever since we found out that we had the money, we've been grateful, we've acknowledged it, and we've done everything that we've been told to do to get it. I need to say this, and I need to say it now. And it's not negative. I hope it's positive. While the intent may have always seemed as though there was an interest in the Jackson House, there was always something working behind the scene. We were not blaming the city. We were not blaming anyone. We were giving the facts. And we need people to understand that's what we were doing. We have hired an architect. We have done the design plans. The house collapsed about this time last year. We did emergency repair work on it. Everyone who say they gave us some money, we still do not have the money, and we're trying to make sure that we can get that paid for. And I need to say this. In addition to that, we are raising money so that we will have the finances. We have also gone through a plethora of contractors in order to get someone who is willing to do the work on the Jackson House. We are fortunate that we have the company. We have sent the contract to the city, to the county, to the state, who is also looking at it from a federal perspective. This is not just like, we are so happy with what's happening at the Wheater House at the park, in the area of the park. We are not holding up nor blaming anyone. We are trying to jump through every hoop that we've been given. And look like every time we achieve one, we get another one. But we're not stopping. We're gonna rebuild the Jackson House at 851 Zack Street. And if the intent is to make sure, Councilman, all of you, that we are doing what we said we're gonna do, we're gonna ask you today to do one thing for us. Expedite us getting the funds so that we can move forward. We have funds from a number of entities. We're raising money. We have people outside of the state of Florida who have been able to see some of the press releases that we've been doing over the years, and they have their own foundation, and they have sent us money to help us with day-to-day operation in sums of money that is sufficient that we could actually work with, but not sufficient enough to build a house. The contract just got back from the state of Florida. We have it. We met with the contractor with I call it the breach in the house that's going on now. We are working with city staff and the state with a meeting today to make sure we can move forward. There's one thing I want everybody to understand. We could have built this house a long time ago. We could have built it much cheaper, and it wouldn't have been the historic Jackson House. It would just been the Jackson House, 851 Zack Street. Our hands are tied. Every month I get a communication from FEMA. We have to report to them. They want the budget. They want to know what we're doing. And so we're jumping through all of the hoops. We're doing everything we've been told to do. And what we would ask today, and thank you in advance for passing this, so that the contractor that we have, and we'll probably be signing, wish we could have signed it the 1st of July, but hopefully we'll be signing it, and the state staff who've been absolutely excellent, Secretary of Interior and all at the state of Florida, who's working with us, because what they have said to us is, we know Tampa is gonna work with you and they're gonna do this. We've had their grant longer than we've had the CRA grant and know that we had it. So whatever you want to put in now, probably we can say it's okay if you say a year. We would ask that you not put that on us, just get us the money. We even came to you before and said to you, this is $1 million. We're talking about what is probably a $4 million process. And since it was almost 5 years ago, we asked you to allow us to change it and increase it. And you say, well, go ahead as soon as you sign the contract. As soon as the contractor give you a budget, bring it back. So we are here. We will always be here. I mean, the previous complaint was we never came. So that's why we start trying to come regular. We're here. We want to do whatever it is you feel we need to do. I thank each and every one of you for the support and the votes that you've given us. I thank the mayor and her administration, all of the legal staff, everybody who's worked diligently with us. And I have to tell you, I even thank the Accardi's, who after about 3 to 4 years finally gave us the easement on the east and west side so that we would be able to meet what you guys had told us was codes that we found out subsequently. We could have built it without the easement.
And I need to go on record to say, as I'm in this process, to hear city officials make comments about how the house should be sold and didn't have a meeting with us to talk to us about where we are in this progress, I think that's, for me, and I am not speaking on behalf of Dr. Collins, I am speaking on behalf of Dr. Angela Scott, who is the chair of the Restoration Project that has been working diligently with the city, the county, and the state. And so for someone to make a statement that we're not doing what we're supposed to do and didn't have a conversation with us, I think that's unfair to make those public comments. So going on record, we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. Talk to your staff, talk to people in the city to know what we're doing to achieve this goal. I do know people in the community are saying things on social media. That is the new format of communication, and that is okay. I don't have to panic when the city panic. I don't have to panic when the people panic, because I know we're doing what we're supposed to do. And this house will be rebuilt in an order it's supposed to be built in the governance that we have authority to do it with. But we will keep the historical status, and we are working with the different funding sources that we have. So please speak to us. I know one council person up here who talks to me regularly to find out what's going on. And thank you, Naya Young.
And thank you, Mr. Carson, because we did ask you for a meeting. We called you. You was willing to meet with us, and we met with you. And you even said on the media that anything happened, we will give them the additional money and make it happen. And while you've not been able to come through for whatever reason, we're asking you to come through now. So we thank you. We thank all of you, because we've had a total vote. Well, it's 7, right? We've had a 7-0 vote that you guys supported us. And we thank you for that. And we need to let you know we've not taken it for advantage. We've actually worked, and we've done everything. And the house will be built, 851 East Zack Street, and we keeping it as a historic house. And the restrictions on us for an historic house is astronomical. And we don't mind showing it to you. We sometimes pull our hair out. They called me and I had 10 minutes to get to the house. What was it, yesterday?
Yesterday.
I was late. It took me 15, but I got there with the intent of not even having a glass of water, taking my blood pressure pill. I took what I needed to do and I got there, and I didn't get back home until 2 o'clock. So we're working. We are going to continue to work diligently. We appreciate what CRA has done. We appreciate what the board of the city council has done, since you guys are really 2 different entities. We thank you, and we ask you to call us anytime. We are available for you 24/7, because that's what it's going to take for the Jackson House to be replaced. And we are not blaming anyone. We're working on everything.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
I know, Board Member Vieira, you wanted to speak first. Do you still have comments? And then we'll go to Carlson and Allen.
Yeah, I mean, my view is that something that puts contractually bound a cutoff, especially after hearing from these 2 board members and women, is I would prefer something that is more aspirational, what have you, as opposed to something that is contractually bound. I think it's something that we can, again, after hearing them out, that's something I'm willing to support. So.
Board Member Carlson and then Clendenin.
Yeah, my frustration, and for anybody who's watching for the first time, I met with Willie Robinson in front of the house in 2012, I think it was, when he had just gotten the order from Mayor Buckhorn that he was going to tear it down and charge him $60,000 in fees and charge him for tearing it down. And we saved it. Linda Salcena came in, City Council overruled the mayor's order at that time. But then we tried to save it, and the mayor at the time squashed our project to save it. And so then it rolled into the foundation somewhere around 2013. But from the point of view of the public, nothing's been done since 2013. I know there were some steel beams and things done on the inside, but the reality is that the whole thing's falling apart. The sides are falling off now, and that's what the public sees. And we've offered to buy it from the Jackson House Foundation. We've offered to condemn it and then rebuild it and give it back to the foundation. The foundation says, no, we want to run it, but the thing is falling apart and the public doesn't see anything. We allocated this money around 2019, and then there were concerns about access. The Accardi's gave temporary access. Can I just confirm with the foundation, you do have access on both sides and in the alley now?
Yes, we have both 10 feet easement on the east and west side of the house.
Dr. Collins, I'm sorry.
Sorry to bring you back up.
I'm sorry, Carolyn Collins again with the Jackson House Chair. We actually have the 10 feet easement on the east and west side of the house. Thanks to the city of Tampa, we were not able to get it after working over 3 years plus, but the city was able to get it. That's why we are grateful to everyone. Once the city got it, they got it, and then they told us, do what you need to do. We had to do everything they told us to do, and we have the deeds. So yes, we own that. In addition to that, while we did not want to close the alley, We closed the alley in good faith, working with the Acardis that work through the city, and we've gained additional property at the end of, at the back of the house, which give us half of the alley as
You
well.
got like 7 or 8 feet in the back, right?
That's 7.5, they say it is. We are waiting. I was told by the city that the Cardis, the Jackson House, and the city, we would go all down and do the actual survey again. We can see the markers where someone had been there. And then someone told Dr. Scott, that's why I told her, don't call the city no more. Because it's easy sometimes for some people to say one thing to me or us together and say another thing to her, and then we got to undo it. We were told that we would all go down together, we would do the survey, and now they're saying, oh, no, we didn't say we was going to do that. Oh, yes, you did, but if we have to pay for it, we'll pay for the survey.
Let me ask you, before she hits the gavel, let me ask you another question. In 2019, after we had allocated this $1 million, Jeff Vinnick, via his then Chief of Staff, Christina Barker, announced that the Vinnick Foundation was giving $1 million. I understood that Ms. Barker then was on your board also.
No, he's never been on our board.
What's the status? Okay, thank you for clarifying that. What's the status of that money? Is that not coming now? Did they go
To our understanding, the Tampa, and I don't want to talk about that, but the Tampa Bay History Center that Mr. Vinnick wanted to give the money to make sure it was appropriately managed, and he asked for our permission to do that, and we agreed. When C.J. Roberts left, C.J. Roberts, whatever he did, it's out there. And they say that they sent all of the money and the records back to the Vinnick Foundation.
Is
So
the
far as we
foundation saying they're gonna give you
concerned,
the money or
the Vinnick Foundation still have the funds. The Vinnicks have not said they are not going to give us the funds at all. I've talked to Christina Barker on a number of occasions, and she said they was waiting as well to see progress, because even under the Tampa Bay History Center, they was not seeing
of
it.
course, the concern in the community is she was the policy director under the mayor who tried to tear it down, and so the community has concerns about that. Can I ask staff real fast, why did it take from 2019 until recently why did it take from 2019 until 3 years ago for anybody to tell the foundation that we had allocated the $1 million?
And you were the one that told us.
Yeah, I don't know why,
About
somebody on
2-3
staff
years
or at
ago.
the city wouldn't have told. The other thing, while she's getting up to answer that, I'm in favor of expediting some part of the money. I'm in favor of asking for additional money, but what I want to see is movement on renovating it. The public wants to see movement. Pieces are falling down and they don't see any action happening. And so if you could come back, let's say in 2 months, with a lot of progress being shown.
No, we don't want to wait 2 months. We can come back to you and hopefully, as soon as we have the company that was there yesterday with the 3 companies they've called to do what they need to do, we have a meeting today with the state to get permission for it.
We would approve this money today, hopefully with a clause in it that it needs to be substantially completed within a year.
I hope you.
But the other thing is, if you need additional money, well, I'm happy to make a motion for that at some point, but I need to see major changes going on at the facility. And my frustration for the public is not with you two individually, it's with the fact that this thing is falling apart, and their political forces in the community who want it to fall apart and are going to clap and celebrate when it falls apart. And I think it's too important of a building in African American history and Tampa's history. And I personally promised Willie Robinson that I would help save it.
I did
so
too.
I'm angry because the thing is falling apart.
I'm with you, Councilman Carson. I promised Willie that I would do the same thing, and we're doing everything that we can. I would ask that, because we just found out about the money when you told us, when we were standing right here, that you had given us $1 million, and we did not know anything about it, but we got the $1 million from the state probably about 3 years before then, and they have worked with us with the grant. I would ask that you guys pass this today. If you have any questions and you want us to come back with whatever, we're more than welcome. I mean, we're going to do what you ask us to do, but we've had to wait. And yes, do we need more money? We've already told you that. You told us what to do. You said as soon as you sign the contract with your contractor, your construction firm, that come back, have them do a budget, and bring it back. So we're gonna go through your new process. That's what they told us we needed to do, that we had to start over again, go through the new process all over in order to get the additional money. And we're gonna jump through those, and hopefully we'll be doing that within a month.
And
So,
I have to.
hold on
Bill,
one second. Hold on. I
City
want-
Council, can we say this also? As we have these future meetings, and I know that you all gonna be reaching out to Dr. Collins and myself as far as what the process is looking like in detail. But here's the thing, we have permitting. You can't do certain things. A lot of people are all of a sudden construction experts. And we need to understand the construction process, and we need to understand what the city is demanding for us to do to touch the building, zoning, permitting, and all of that. So there's things we have to do in order before we can move forward. So I don't want all of us to sit here and think that we know all of the processes with the DDR, the ARC, all of that. We have to follow the guidelines, and that's some of the things we're doing, and we're so happy to have those conversations with you.
So I want to go to Board Member Clendenin, and then Vieira, and then I have some questions and comments that I would like to make. That's going to be one of my questions. I wrote it down. We're not going to forget. Board Member Clendenin, and then Board Member Vieira.
I want to make sure that people understand this is not. Councilman Carlson has been one of the biggest champions of the Jackson House that I know. Long before I served on Tampa City Council, I knew that he was a champion. Him and Linda Salcena and others have been champions of the restoration of this house and the historical significance of this house, not just to the Black community, but for the culture and the legacy of the city of Tampa and what it stands for, and the educational purposes behind keeping that Jackson House standing for future generations to understand where we have been and where we are and where we're going, and the mistakes that have made. So I want to be clear that I appreciate Councilman Carlson's championship of this project. Also, the part of the problem, Dr. Collins, is we've seen this process go on for so long, and I understand the struggles, and I know y'all's frustration as well. I hear your frustration. I hear it in your voice. I've heard it in your voice before. But we also have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the money is well taken care of, and that it is being used in a expeditious way, because as we saw with that cave-ins that would just happen in the last couple of weeks, I mean, we've all seen the tremendous amount of decay and decline of that house over the last 4 or 5 years. It's amazing to see how badly it's really in the condition that it's in. So I don't think it's unreasonable to put that clause on there, at least to have some point and some pressure point to ensure that this process moves forward, because I mean, this thing has been going on for so, and I understand. And by the way, the Acardis didn't give us that property. Yeah.
I know.
They got a really good deal.
Yes,
from
they
us.
did, more than what we got.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to make sure the Acardis, they were not the benevolent company on this. We ended up having to give away a lot of land in order to be able to get that small piece of the slivers of dirt on either side of that structure, so that you could move forward to reconstructing this building.
I know, thank you.
Yeah, and so everybody up here, I think we all are looking for that same goal. I think we are on your side. We want to see this project move forward. We want to see the Jackson House reconstructed. We're trying to put as much, but we also have the fiduciary responsibility. So I still support having that, having some kind of close end to this, to create a little bit more of a pressure point. At least then maybe you'd have to come back to us if you don't meet that goal with explanations. But I think that shouldn't be open-ended. I think we should have a closed end on this. But we're very supportive. I look forward to having the grand opening of the historic Jackson House, and hopefully I'll be alive to attend that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I would, if I have the opportunity, thank you guys, and I would hope that you would not put anything negative on this. I agree if we could leave it positive, and if you have a problem with it, and you say in a year you don't see anything done, then you come back in a year and say, we told you this, and this is what we're doing. But to place something negative on it, and you're telling us also to come back at your new year, and we are planning on coming back hopefully within the month when we get the budget to bring it to you, and we're going to be asking you for more money. I don't want to hear you or the future council people say, well, we had to put a clause in there to get y'all No.
Dr. Collins,
There-
it's not negative. It is
It's
a
negative.
check-in point. It's an accountability point. It's not negative, it's a check-in
Yes,
point.
it's
So that
negative.
we have that check-in point. That's,
May I go on and say that the timeline is important? That's what I'm hearing at this time. So y'all know we have the different fund sources. We have the state fund. We have, and that is in two ways for the Jackson House, and the city of Tampa has grant funds also. But that funding is specifically towards restoring the historic home. I want to go through this quickly. We have funding also for the challenge grant. We have the CRA funding, and we have some private funding. So each one of these fundings they have very specific rules and policies how we can obtain this money. So I like to tell people we are grant awarded. We don't have those funds in our hands where we can move forward. Today, as this get approved, we will have that money so that we can move forward on a project. We have a timeline, and right as Dr. Collins has said earlier, we met with the construction management firm that will be managing this project, and so we get to move forward with them. We're just getting some legal language together, so that will be signed before the end of this week, and we can make that announcement. We also are going to be responsible in communicating with the public in the process and the steps that we're doing as well, so that it takes some of the pressure off the city as well as what we're doing and what that timeline look like. But you should see where the breaches in the building at this time. We're going to make it public safety, and that should prayers to God that that will happen before August 31st, before the end of this month, if we're moving forward with everything that is going on. So we have everything in place. So when that part of the building come down, you will start to see the deconstruction of the building starting in this year. And so we are excited about our steps. We just ask you all to please reach out to us. We do meet monthly as a board, and we do meet bi-monthly with all of the stakeholders that are involved with this project as well. So I hear the frustration of Mr. Carson, and we got a chance to meet with him that time. But we also are frustrated as well when people don't ask us the question and we make up, we fill in the blanks. Let's not fill in the blanks. Come and talk to us, please.
And let me just say this, when Dr. Scott said the meetings, we've been meeting every other Monday with the state, the county, the city, and anyone else that want to come on. We even have volunteers that are coming on. But the naysayers are not coming on those calls, and they're open. We have community meetings every 3 months. We let the community tell us where they want us to go. We are working with East Tampa now to be in East Tampa for the next meeting. We try to tell the community what's going on. We have done everything conceivably possible, and we don't restrict anyone from coming. We've been having every Monday meeting. I just stopped them. Every Monday, we call them lunch and learn. If you want to know something, call in and listen. Because we know that the people in the community is seeing what we see, do not like what they see, and there are some that don't even understand what they see. So we're trying to make sure that we're communicating as best we can, and we do not want anyone to think that we're not afraid to tell you what's going on. We're happy to tell you. And so for everybody that's listening, come and help us. We don't mind.
Board Member Vieira, and then I have some comments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to curtail my comments because let me, if I may, can we call the question on the motion to vote on it? Was everyone comfortable with that? And then we can discuss? Or are there questions on it?
I have questions I want
Okay,
to ask first.
then, so I'll tell you what I'd be comfortable with. I have a lot of things to say, but again, I don't want to, and I'll speak to that. But if Councilman Carlson were to make a motion directing Ms. Thrower to meet with the Jackson House Board and to come back to us next month with actionable cutoff dates and so forth, and viable plan of action, and working with the board with immediate reporting next month on an emergency basis, I could support that. And then if I'm not satisfied with that, then this could do that. I could support that, right? My big issue is this. I remember, Councilman, going to Cafe con Tampa in 2016, and you guys asked me a question on this, and you've been on this for a very, very long time. I just don't want every discussion up here to get mired in the election we have coming up. And that I just, you know, when I hear all these names of people involved in a forthcoming election, I don't want to have to deal with every single damn issue that we deal with up here dealing with that, right? There's certain things I'll give, we'll give folks a single, but not a triple. You're gonna get out a second, right? So again, if there were some sort of a motion that were to direct Ms. Thrower to come back next month, I'd be all for that. And then, if we're not satisfied, Councilman, I would very likely vote for your motion. That's my compromise.
No, that's good. That was kind of gonna be where I was on the lines of more like before one. So first off, I'm hearing what everyone up here is saying, and I think that it's because we want to see the Jackson House be preserved. I don't think there's any questions in that. And also in meeting with Dr. Collins and Dr. Scott, I know that they've been working very hard. And from what not just on this project, but on other projects, I hear when you're working with the ARC, when you're working with zoning, when you're working with permitting, for some it's a little bit easier, for some it's very difficult. And so that varies as well. So I can understand that could really prolong a timeline, especially when you're dealing with such a historic place. So my question, one, I do want to go back to Councilman Carlson's question about why, Jackson House Foundation didn't know that they had the money. And then I want to simply ask Dr. Scott and Dr. Collins, what you all need from us so that this can happen, whatever you need from us as a board, also from me as a chair of the board, to help to move this so that you all are getting the assistance that you need, that we're moving this forward. But I want to hear from you all. Tell us, I feel like I kind of already have an idea, but tell us what you need from us, and then let's talk with the staff and how we can make that happen. If it's expediting the funds, is that something that we can do? If it's, having a meeting, as Board Member Vieira said, in next month, and then come back with a report, and then after that, we say, okay, we're gonna have to, maybe we need to put a year stipulations. But what do you all need from us so that we can move it forward? And then staff, what can we do so that we can work with Jackson House Foundation?
Yes, can I, thank you, Chair Young. I'd like to just recognize Melissa Martinez, who's been working on the funding agreement and with the applicant to answer some of those questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, Melissa Martinez with Tampa CRA. To answer some of the questions is, in 2022, the CAC voted to go ahead and allocate those funds, $1 million for this project. As you know, in 2022 as well, our department went through a restructuring. Now, this has always been a reimbursement grant. Based also on the current policy and the previous policies, it has not been a money upfront grant. It's always been a reimbursement. So, and this is also reimbursement for TIF approved projects, which is usually infrastructure, anything that is permanent. And those are delineated on Chapter 163. This is how especially for the development project or development grant. So if they're gonna come back and request, they're gonna have to go to process. We just approved the update or a grant policy. So everybody, their cycles, they need to submit deadlines. It's the same thing. The previous one, for some reason, it didn't go through to have an agreement developed. It went on to the CAC recommending it, and for some reason, there were staff changes, managers left, director left. I then was in charge of then putting all this together, and that's why I've been pushing it to put it forward to have an agreement, because that's the way that then we can follow the same processes that we have on the previous agreements. The other thing, under the agreement, there's an Article 3 that is condition precedents. So when the applicant signs that agreement and you execute the agreement, they have a year to work with us to be able to obtain permitting, to be able to provide the funding that they have, whatever, if it's gonna be via a funding plan, or for us to make sure that the money is in place for them to be able to pay for these improvements. And there's contracts with the contractors. There's a list of things that they're gonna have to do, and we work with them. They have a year, and then we can extend it for another year. Administratively, it can be approved. So I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, okay.
Before I leave, I'm giving you all this.
No, that's fine. I appreciate you, thank you. Councilman Carson, you were the one to answer the question. Did I answer your question? No. You have 2 minutes.
No, that explains part of it. Of course, the question the community has is just like on a lot of things, is the administration slow walking it behind the scenes because they don't want it, because the current mayor is friends with the old mayor. By the way, me bringing up that has nothing to do with current politics. It has to do with the reality of fact that the last mayor tried to tear it down. And that is the reality where we are. And this mayor is friends with the last mayor. And the public believes that they're trying to slow walk it to make this building fall down. And if not, they need to step up and put some city money in, as the mayor had promised, and help the foundation get grants as the mayor had promised in the media, and help move this forward. But right now, it looks like this administration feels the same way as the last one, that they would just be happy for it to fall down.
Board Member Miranda?
Thank you. I mean, I've heard $1 million now for 5 different places. So where's the money?
All right.
That's number one. Number two, no matter when you start or when you finish, it's what product you have at the end, meaning this. No matter what you would have done 5 years ago or 3 years ago, that lumber cannot be used for replacement. That lumber would be somewhat brought down to some size to use as what it was there originally, but the original lumber is gone.
Gone.
You can't use that number because that house would collapse as you're building it.
Yes.
So you have to use everything new. I would imagine that that house is built like it was in the 1900s and 18-something, where you had foundations and you had wood holding up the house, not underground. Am I correct? Is it going to be the same way? We have like where you can go under the house and do whatever you got to do.
That's right.
And these are the things that I remember growing up at 3303 Sanchez Street, where I used to save my Coca-Cola bottle so I could get a drink for free. But these are the things that I know you have to do, and they're not easy, but they really are able to do them now. You're going to use new lumber. You're going to use everything new, everything modern with the lumber that you have there that you can save as part of the original house. So let's face it, it's not going to be that lumber. It's going to be, the facts are, it'll be built to today's standards with the amenities that were left over from the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I see that Abby Field is here. Was she here to discuss this issue?
Who's here?
Attorney Shepard, excuse me, I'm sorry. Attorney Shepard would like to speak to this, before you'll take a vote.
Yeah, just to remind, I mean, it was already said by Ms. Martinez, but this is a reimbursement grant. And if you read the resolution, you can read, it doesn't take very long. It says this is a reimbursement. And the reason I want to make sure that was understood is because I heard some talk about advancing funds. You don't do that on a reimbursement.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Shepard. Okay, so, Dr. Scott, Dr. Collins.
Basically, here's what we need. Whatever process the city uses in order to allow us to move forward with the Jackson House construction, whether it's the initial phase of deconstruction, then it goes into construction and no stabilization at all. You just heard the presentation that we've gotten from everyone we have talked to with historical that have mandated to us what to do. 25% of the house or more, that's not a standard. It has to be remaining in order to maintain that. Yesterday, I love the contractor that I think we're about to sign the contract with, because he said we got to get rid of what's not historical because it's weighing against the house. We got to do it the way the state and the federal government says do it. So when Dr. Scott called me, she said, I know what you don't want to hear, but they say it. I said, I don't want to hear it. They can't say it. So when I met them, I told them, don't say that word around me. If you're going to deconstruct, get rid of that. And I loved it when he said, we know what everybody asking for. Almost like a bra on your car, on the front of the car, or people want to ask about a brace. You can't do no brace on that house. You just said the wood's not going to take no brace. It's going to fall through. We're trying to make sure that we can get the other bricks that the city has been kind enough to store for us. We want to get those other bricks. Much of what they can save, and the contractor on our board has said less than 20%, is going to be reused and retrofitted inside the house. It may be a decorative frame. It may be something, but it's not going to be able to be used that way. I wish Pat Cruz was here and wasn't in Jamaica now for her sister's service. But she will tell you from a historical perspective what we've been trying to do and what we've been saving. What's sitting out there at DSI right now, Service Master, We have invoices. We're not asking for people to advance money. Just pay the invoices. And we can keep moving. So what we really need is people to be as true to us as we're trying to be with everybody else. When we submit an invoice to you, pay the invoice. It is for the Jackson House. We even have people using the excuse, well, we're going to pay, but is that what we want to pay for? And yes, we do have $1 million that we received from the state for us, and $500,000 that the legislators worked with the mayor and gave to the city. That's the 1.5. And the documents we've given you guys, the documents they have, everything that we have in money is documented, where it is, who it's from, and all of it is based off of invoices. We're not asking for advance money. We're just asking you when we get the invoice to pay them.
Who has the invoices, right?
We got them.
Well, we
submitted them.
We submitted invoices to the city and
Abby,
to
you
the
have-
state.
So,
yes,
sorry. I see
I
Ms.
hate to
Feely, do
interrupt.
you have some comments?
Yes, I was going to say Administrator Feely's here to come up and comment on this. Thank you.
Good morning, Council. Abby Feely, Administrative Development and Economic Opportunity. So, a couple things. This has been going on since I came back to the city in 2020. It's one of the first projects I started working on back then. It was in permitting to get rehabbed, and without the two 10-foot strips on each side, it could not be reconstructed as it was historically there because of fire code, and fire code would not have allowed the openings on each side of the building without having the 10-foot. And that started the whole discussion about how do we get the 10-foot? Where are we going to go get the 10-foot? And the discussions and negotiations that started with the Accardi family that then brought us before council not too long ago. And I don't have any of these dates and stuff prepared this morning because I wasn't aware that this conversation was going to go in this direction. It is my understanding and a couple of things. One, Dennis Fernandez from Historic Preservation is on the team that meets every other Monday with the Jackson House. The lunch and learn that they just referred to you about, hear what's going on. Dennis is on that every Monday and is aware of the status of what is going on. Furthermore, it's my understanding, and I just texted Dennis on my way over there, him and Eric Cotton are meeting right now on the downtown development review that is in for the House, as well as the ARC review. So we are working hand in hand with the Jackson House to try to move this project forward. In relation to the invoices, it is my understanding, based on my communication with the History Center, that the invoices were sent to the History Center for payment, and they said they do not have the money. The money was returned to the Vinnick Foundation. Okay? They then came to the city to pay those. We cannot pay those invoices. We do not have a way to pay them. So I can't. The city does have the $500,000 grant that is assigned to us. We have been working with the state to ask for continuances and extensions to that so that we can partner with the Jackson House when the construction gets started, but that has not gotten started, so we can't activate on that grant. That is something that Morris, Rebecca, myself, we have continued to try to get progress on this. So Eric, JC, Dennis, we all stand at the ready to be able to construct. I know there are procurement requirements that the Jackson House has pursuant to the money coming from the state. Just like we have our procurement, RFP has to go out, competitive bid has to happen, all of those things. So in your agreement that you're considering today in your funding, I would say in relationship to that, I don't know, and I would have to look further at it, whether that is going to be eligible to pay the invoices for activity that they performed. And Cliff, if you can assist with this, it would be helpful, for activity they performed prior to this agreement being signed. So for the shoring up and the stuff that they've done on the house, I don't know that the funds you're allocating today would be eligible for those activities that have been performed before an agreement was signed. So level setting where we are today, I mean, things are moving forward. I'm not sure about the company you're selecting, or I know Dennis is involved with that. We are working to get the downtown development review, but ultimately the ARC. The jurisdiction of this falls to the ARC, given its historic nature. So those processes are occurring. But I think it was just filed, I didn't get a chance to pull it up in Acela when it was filed by the Jackson House Foundation. But as Councilman Carlson stated, it's very difficult, right? The city does not own this property. We don't have control. That control lies with Dr. Collins and her team. We're participating in what capacity that we can by being involved in those every other Monday meeting, and we have been for years, and we're continuing to try to find a path forward on this project.
So, if I hear you correctly, the invoices were sent to the History Center, but because the History Center does not have the money, they cannot pay the invoices. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's true. That's it. They sent it back to the Bennetts. And I've been working with the comptroller, the young man there, and he called me back and told me that I needed to work with Christina. And I have a good relationship with Christina that started before all of this, and working with the Jackson House, that is. And Christina told me, okay, she would get back with me and that they would be paying it and to send her the invoice, and I sent her those invoices. What we're saying is we're ready to go with a contractor. There's an invoice in there once you guys sign this and we move forward. We don't need the money to be held up and then the people ask us why we haven't done anything. That's why. That's exactly why. And yes, Dennis has been a jewel. He has been there with us. Prior to Ms. Abby Freeman coming back, the previous director, he met with us. He set the first meeting up and he met with us, and Ms. Freeman has told us clearly that Dennis was gonna be there. She meet with Dennis on a weekly basis and Dennis update her. He's not on the Lunch and Learns. That's for people in the community, our board and others, but he is on every one of our meeting that we have with everyone. So, you know, he is there. So we just need some of the, and I'm gonna say, like I said, long time ago with a university president, just take the handcuffs off of us. Tell us what you want us to do. We will do it so that when we submit a bill, the bill is paid.
And all of the invoices are not previous work. We can't move forward because let's take our architect of record. He has a team and they invoice him. And so we don't have the funding in our account to pay that. So he sends us the invoice, and this is what I'm working towards, then the whole board, as far as getting these invoices paid. So I have submitted invoices to the state. So they're not pre-work invoices. This is invoices so that we can withdraw the funds to pay them so that they can move forward.
And thank God the state is actually have their approval now. They've gone through their process and they're gonna try to start working on this with us. But whatever it is, that we signed a contract with this gentleman, there's a clause in there on what we gotta pay him. If you don't sign your contract and we sign a contract with him, he doesn't get paid.
Okay, so I want to bring this in. Darlene, if you are listening to this, I want to set a meeting. Everybody that's involved with this project, we're going to meet and we're going to talk about this. So Darlene, if you are listening, but Jackson House Foundation, CRA, Abby Feely, the mayor, whoever, everybody that is involved with this project, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a meeting. I think the mayor's conference room is big enough and we're going to have a conversation so we can figure this out.
Thank you,
So
because the
we're
mayor
gonna-
has had about
yeah.
2 or 3 of those meetings as
So
well.
let's bring this in for a landing. So we need to approve this.
Can I
Yes.
clarify just one thing on the record so that it's very clear? The funds, the CRA funds do not cover soft costs, okay? Sticks and bricks. So if there's funds that are being expended to an architect, an engineer, if they put in for reimbursement, we cannot pay that, okay? That's through the statute. So I don't want to leave the room today with anyone having a misunderstanding about what they can get reimbursed for. I want to be very clear. So I don't know if that reimbursement can come through their state grant or what that is, but if that is then going to be the whole, we cannot reimburse for that.
And you pay for bricks and sticks.
Bricks and
wood.
sticks.
And
Board
you're saying if they go over there and
member,
do this tear down now,
Clendenin, 2
that you
minutes.
can't pay
Carl
for
said-
that.
I only need 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Because of what we've heard,
Mhm.
and this is not an indictment, this is not a question, this is not anything, but I think pending your meeting that you just discussed, which I think is a great idea, I think we should continue this item to September 10th. A motion to continue this to September 10th.
I don't.
I would ask that the September 10th meeting continuation, we'll be glad to be here, will be the meeting to give clarity on where we are. But to delay this and signing, I think what somebody said, money was given us in 2019, and then we still held up.
We're only
It
talking
does
20
not do what you're asking us to
We're only
do,
talking
and
20
that
days.
is to move the
I know-
house forward.
I know
We
you-
need you
Point of
guys to
order, if I may.
approve this today.
Point of order, if I may.
I know he's talking 20 days, but as this is approved, as Abby has indicated about the funding pieces of this, we're supposed to get our educated on just the process of this. So we will meet with the CRA office, and they will tell us the process. So as we have our different funding sources, as we have the different items on the project line, this will help us move forward. But delaying it, he's saying 20 days. See, we said 5 years, we're talking about 10 years. But if we're talking about expediting process, holding us up 20 days, I would not advise that. But I am not the voting person, but I think we should move forward and that we will be able to come back with a positive, healthy report on September the 10th.
Not just September the 10th, even when we meet
Thank you,
with
ma'am.
the chair.
If I may. So I have a point of order, which is that we have a motion by Councilman Carlson that had a second. We should vote on that, and then if we have just to move things along, I mean, I'm for approving this today.
I will remove my second if you would consider the motion to continue this to the next CRA meeting, which is in
Well,
20
I think
days.
what we need is to approve the agreement, and then you had an amendment that you wanted to.
Well, no,
the amendment.
not to approve it, to continue it I'm saying, he had, so where we were on that was Councilman Carlson had to have that year, and I seconded that. I would actually take that second off if this board would entertain the idea of continuing this. There are too many outspoken, it's too much money, there's too many questions, and I really like the idea that the chairwoman said about the meeting with the interested party, because this is a lot of money. This is a very important cultural institution. I think there's even questions of how this money is spent, making sure people clearly understand what this grant is or what this money is. And I think that 20 days is a reasonable amount of time to make sure that we fulfill our fiduciary responsibilities and protect what we're doing.
So my wanting to have the meeting was still to approving this first, and then we're still gonna have the meeting regardless. But I think that from what I'm hearing from the Jackson House Foundation is they want to move this forward so that we don't delay any process. And part of, once you move this forward, is there's a meeting to talk about what you can and cannot bill and invoice for, what that process looks like. So if we don't approve this today, then even that process is held behind, if I'm understanding correctly. Yeah, and then we did, when we first started talking about this, we had the motion from Maniscalco and Miranda to approve this. And then we got into discussion, and that's when the amendment came about, adding the year stipulation. Then we got into more conversation about how that stipulation the Jackson House Foundation did not want to actually have the stipulation on them for that year, but maybe in a month come back and say where we are in the process. So that's kind of how the conversation has gone. And I'm gonna,
I'm
2
gonna remove
minutes,
my
2
second.
minutes, and
I'm
then
gonna remove it.
there's
you're gonna
one-
remove your
Yes,
second?
I am, and I'll tell you why. We've heard so much evidence of 50 different things that if we're gonna start back, we're gonna end up exactly where we started. If we follow Mr. Clendenin's motion to September to get all this information so we can settle the whole thing all at once, I think we'd be better off. Your mayor, meeting with the mayor, with other people between now and then, and your motion is fine, it's wonderful to get that done, get the input of everybody in the city, from the planning commission, from the planning people in the city, the people who do the permitting, all that, so we can get it all done at once.
So-
We're gonna piecemeal this thing, it's gonna take another year.
Chair Young, may
Board
I?
member,
Thank you so
let's
much.
hear from Ms.
Brenda Thrower, CRA Development Manager. One path forward, you've already in April, you actually approved this project
Yeah,
going
we
forward.
did.
You want to be a partner in this project, correct? So by approving it today, it gets you that agreement in place. It is a reimbursement grant, but it shows that they have the support and a funding mechanism from the CRA board. In addition, we could add in a progress report. If you want to give a progress report next month, we could do it every month if that's something you would like to do, just like you did with Union Station. And we could work together to keep that project updated. That's just one suggestion. That's what you have before you today, a funding agreement. It's through our grant program, $1 million reimbursement to the Jackson House, and then they can actually claim CRA as a partner in this project. I'll leave it there.
Thank you for that clarification. So, we have, Board Member Miranda who removed his second, but you, anybody? Cause I can't. Okay.
Can I, no,
So you all told me 10:45, so this is our fault. Go ahead.
no,
2
so
minutes.
I would be, I think we should approve it today, but I'd like to add that
Yeah.
sentence in the end. And so if we can add that sentence in, it's not punitive. It gives the next city council or CRA board a chance to renew it if we need to. It sounds like they could use the money before then anyway, but I think it's better to get it moving, and then after your meeting, we'll come back with a bunch of modifications, because the modifications are kind of to their benefit anyway. If I could real fast, the History Center thing, and this gets back to my earlier point about the capacity of the foundation. I think it was the State and the Vennick Foundation asked the History Center to jump in. C.J. Roberts, who was the head of it at the time, agreed to kind of oversee it, to help the foundation, and then he left, and when he left, the board said, we want to hand that back to the donors and not be the agent for it. And so that's what happened there. There was nothing bad about it, it's just the director changed and it changed. But there's as Abby said, and thanks to Abby for coming out, there's a lot of heavy lifting that we need to do to help them with the foundation with their capacity around this. And even the meeting you're going to have will be very helpful, but still we're going to have to guide them through the entire process, and we don't have control over anything. So my motion would still stand. I would like to approve it with that sentence, and then we can come back and edit it next month.
What's the sentence?
Just that that they need to have completed substantial renovation within a year.
Yeah, because so how about this? How about this? Because how about this? We move the resolution, include the clause with adding a progress report. By next month, we will have had the meeting, and then if we want to add in this sentence, but I think also we need to work that out because words matter. So what substantial is subjective. What does that mean? So if after we have the meeting by next month, our next CRA meeting, if we need to add that in there, we can add it in there. But we can let's approve the resolution today. Add the clause for the progress report. Well, I would have had a meeting by next month. We'll come back and say, okay, we need to put this clause in here or some other type of timeline for the project.
And Chair Young and CRA Board, there is a timeline that is in that agreement. I just want to call attention to it. So there is something that is already in place, but happy to do.
Just last thing, more than any time in the last 20 years, the Jackson House is about to fall down, and we've got to move really fast. That's why I would be willing to approve this today, because we have to move really fast. We have to do everything we can to get this. It could fall down anytime. We've been saying that for 20 years, but it really could fall down now. Big chunks of it are falling down, so we have to move fast.
So we have a motion to approve the resolution with the clause of the progress report.
Yes.
By Board Member Maniscalco, and we have a second from Board Member Vieira. Can we do a vote, or do we need to do a roll call vote? Okay, we can do a roll call vote.
Maniscalco? Yes. Hurtak? Absent. Young?
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Miranda?
No, and I claim my vote.
Clendenin?
No, and I just want to make sure people understand it's not because of my lack of support for the project, it's not my lack of support for the grant, it's I really felt like we needed additional time I take the fiduciary responsibility of my role on Tampa City Council and as a CRA board member very seriously, and I just don't feel like at this moment, especially with all of the conflicting information, as Councilman Miranda qualified it, that I have enough information to really move forward on this with the confidence that the direction is going to achieve our desired goal. Thank you.
And mine, if I may explain mine, it's a fiduciary problem that I have, that at the time of the expenditure, we knew nothing about this to that point. I'm not questioning the repairs. There was money given, the money was taken back, and they went to collect, and there was no money to get paid. And that's a problem that we have. We don't know exactly what happened. The motion that the chair made to meet with the mayor and find out everything all at once would be the best avenue to have that information privy to us. We didn't have it when we were sat down this morning on this discussion, and it would be not in the public interest, in my mind, to do something without having the administration, the CRA board, and those involved with the foundation, who's doing an excellent job, I believe, in getting it done, with a lot of problems that they had. It wasn't easy to get that land around the historical structure that the Jackson House had at that time. There was no routing for the fire trucks to come in. There was an alley that was in question. There was a deal made, whether it was good or bad is indifference now, and that's where we're at. So I just want everything done at once, not piecemeal, and that's why I'm voting no.
Thank you.
Motion passes with Miranda and Clendenin voting no and Hurtak being absent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to put it on the agenda for next month?
Yes.
Yes, thanks.
And make a motion to put the Jackson House update on the agenda for next month to receive an update from the staff, the Jackson House Foundation, and Chair Young's office.
So we have a motion from Board Member Carlson, a second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for making that motion.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
May I ask
All
a
right.
question on the agenda, ma'am, if I may?
Yes, Board Member Pierre.
Thank you, ma'am. For item number 6, Mr. DeGeorge, who's here, has got to leave around noon or so, it would appear. Is there any way that we can have that next? Would that in any way inconvenience?
Can we get through 4 and 5 quickly?
That's up to us.
Do we
think
have
you can.
comments?
With vigor.
Can we get through with vigor?
I anticipate they'd be quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, if we are still on these 2 items.
2 items, okay.
It's 11:13 by
Okay.
11:45.
So let's move, okay. So the next, item number 4 is the multi-district wayfinding program
I
change.
apologize. May I make a quick comment, if I may?
Very good.
Thank you, ma'am. So, yeah, but 6, I mean, Mr. DeGeorge needs to leave by 12. I think this is going to take more than 15 minutes. That's why I say that. So I want to make sure that we have enough time for this, because this is an extremely important topic. So
I think
just
5
say
will
that.
take 2 minutes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Then I'll stop
Okay.
talking so we can go.
Yeah,
Well-
you cut into our time.
The good thing is the next item number 4, you've already approved. This is just realigning funding from each of the CRAs. This is the urban core CRAs that are having the wayfinding program. They've already approved it, and so this is just a program change.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions? No, we're good to go. Do you need a motion?
Yes, please.
We have a
Thank you.
motion from Board Member Clendenin, second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh,
I don't speak Sicilian, so how could you get a
we have a motion from Board Member Clendenin, a second from Board Member Carlson. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes with Board Member Hurtak and Maniscalco absent.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Item number 5, this is Tampa Union Station. This is your monthly progress report from Director Colina, and it is in your packet. And if you have any questions, I'll yield to that.
Just for the public, could you take 1 or 2 minutes and just give
Sure.
a quick update? She called me Maniscalco, and I said, I don't even speak Sicilian.
So, I'm sorry, you want me to run through the
Could
list?
you just, like, real fast
Just a
for the
quick
public,
update.
just spend a minute?
Oh, sure,
updating on what's
absolutely. Just one moment. So basically, the Jackson, I'm sorry, not Jackson, Union Station, we've both spent so much time on that one today, is undergoing renovation. You can see it. Now, in your report, you'll notice that they've had some termite damage. So that's where they're at today. They're remedying that termite damage. It's listed there in bullet form into the, on your memo. Of course, this is Union Station. Everyone knows in public where that's located, I hope. The other thing is notable that they're still on time. Despite the termite damage, they are on time with their project. So that's the report. You get these every single month, which is I think it's been very helpful to see how things are progressing. And if you drive by that building, you will see the scaffolding, you'll see the activity that's going on in it. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
No, thank you. All righty.
You're welcome. Okay, now, drum roll, huh? We are at item number 6. This is Mr. Tom DeGeorge. You had made a motion back in May to have a little bit of a discussion, a little dedicated discussion to the preservation and assistance that could be provided to small cultural venues. And Mr. Tom DeGeorge, he is our the Ybor CAC chair. He also is he's on the ex officio seat for the Ybor Merchants Association. And I have him here to partake in that discussion. Thank you, Tom.
No problem. Hello, how are you today? So thanks for having me here today. I put together a little timeline, and then hopefully we can have a little discussion. But in March 2020, we had closures due to COVID and the pandemic, and indie venues, concert venues like mine that existed, Crowbar, that is since closed, were the first to open, they were the first to close and the last to open. And that took place in cities all over the country. And closures ranged anywhere from 7 months to over a year. And the tour industry itself came to a screeching halt for close to 2 years. In April 2020, the National Independent Venue Association was formed. It came into existence in the face of this crisis. We started with 40 or so venue operators and promoters who fought to save our stages as volunteers. And I was our volunteer for the state of Florida, and I continue on with the organization as our Southeast president. And today, we have thousands of members across the country. In December 2020, after 9 months or so of advocacy from our small group of people, we did get Save Our Stages passed, and Save Our Stages ended up becoming the Shuttered Venues Operators Grant, and it was the largest arts grant in United States history. And in doing so, there was still a lot of work, and in 2020 and 2021, we had to work with legislators, federal legislators, and the SBA to define eligibility and distribution of those funds to make sure that the money went to the right people and that we didn't have fraud. Those funds were distributed in 2021 and 2022. So you can see while these venues were struggling how long it took just to get the funding to help make them whole. I personally, closing in March of 2020, didn't receive my funds until July 1st, 2021, and there were several other venues, once again, that didn't receive their funding till the fall of 2022. Government moves slow sometimes, as we know. Once we worked past the funding issues, we took our advocacy back to DC, working on things like Fix the Ticks. When we did reopen, what we came to realize very quickly was the world that we knew it from when we had been open in all those years up until the beginning of 2020 had changed, and our industry had changed, and large corporations got more powerful, and development continued, and the resale market, that is a fraudulent market that pulls our ticketing inventory right from our rooms, it had become $1 billion industry. And so we started advocating that way to try to fix some of these things that were hurting us. But what we got in return from a lot of our legislators and what we heard back from DC and making multiple trips to DC was, well, you're telling us these are the problems you're having, but can you show us that this is really what's happened to you and that these venues are closing and that they're not sustainable? So in 2024, we worked through NEVA, let's see if I can get this right, to start the state alive. I don't know if you're going to be able to get all that or not.
Can you zoom it out some?
There's a wheel on top, Tom.
A wheel?
Yeah, zoom in, zoom out, there's a wheel up there.
Yeah, right in the center, just like a tower.
Center. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, hold
Yeah,
on.
perfect.
There you go. There you go. So which was the first economic research study of the independent sector. And so even after all this work, we started the state alive in 2024. And what that required was all these venues around the country that had been struggling to give us their data. It was an anonymous study because a lot of people don't want people to know their personal numbers, but I am proud to say that here in Florida, many independent operators, promoters, and festivals participated knowing what was at stake. And in the summer of 2025, the State of Live launched. We used Teconomy Partners LLC to put together the data for us. And once again, the numbers were based on hundreds of independent venues, promoters, festivals from states all around the country, making up thousands of cultural institutions and safe spaces that are also massive economic drivers. The data, specifically for Florida, as you can see here, I put some of it down here, showed that while Florida itself ranked in the top 3 in every category except for one. So we ranked in the top 3 in GDP, economic output, state and local tax impact, jobs supported, wages and benefits, industry jobs, and offsite tourism spending, and we ranked 4th in fans served. So we're, in the top, leading the country. But much like other states, what we saw was that only 35% of our venues in current time right now are profitable. So we've been taking this data back to DC, to the state, here locally, trying to enact more change. And since the State of Live and since we've had this supportive data, we shifted our responsibilities while concurrently still working on ticketing legislation from 2025 to current to pushing against Live Nation, and this is the chapter known as Live Nation versus Independence. Live Nation, went to trial recently. They were found guilty by a federal jury with their subsidiary Ticketmaster of being liable for violating federal and state antitrust laws, ruling that the companies illegally maintain a monopoly over the live entertainment and ticketing markets. And they are, by many of us, viewed as one of our big problems in us becoming profitable again and having these venues, which I believe are the farm leagues of the future, venues that not only support young touring artists, but they support our local artists, and they're also the places that people tend to go to in times of trouble, in times of need, as well as in times of celebration, and the last real vestige of affordable ticketing that's out there in growth for communities. So, we've shifted our focus to that. We're looking for the judge, to have a strict ruling against Live Nation. We want to make sure that the playing field can be made level again. So far this year, 51 venues, including my own, have closed or sold with more than expected. And if we top 100, and I'm just going to switch this to this so you can see some more of the data. And if this keeps happening at this rate, we will surpass those 2020 numbers. We're currently ahead of them right now. So personally, when Save Our Stages started, and I saw what was happening around the country and other parts of Florida, but also in my neighborhood of Ybor City, I made the decision at that time, seeing that there were other venues that had fallen behind on their leases, that couldn't get their funding in time, that were having their doors shuttered because either their landlord had sold to developers or other people had moved into the market that came from areas that couldn't be open at all. They were losing their rooms, so I made the decision to extend my lease in 2022, the 20-year anniversary, with the intent that it would allow me to be as vocal as possible to tell my story, which also told the story of other venue operators in cities all around the country. And I'm happy to say that aside from all the local press that I received, the journey over the last 6 years took us to the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Rolling Stone Magazine. I was on CNN, I was on Fox Business News, and in 2025, I did speak to the Department of Justice Antitrust Division about Live Nation, Ticketmaster, and the secondary ticketing. And most recently, in May of 2026, I did testify before Congress. And so I'm happy to say that through my business, we achieved all goals and expectations, which was, once again, to go out in a way that, you know, we finished on top, but also to be able to use this story to advocate for change. So on the federal level, we're still working with fix-it-ticks legislation. We're still fighting against Live Nation. On a state level, we're working on state ticketing legislation. I have frequent calls with Maxwell Frost's office. They've been very supportive in trying to put together a very good comprehensive ticketing program that would be fair to the artists, the fans, and the venues. And on local level, what we need is smart parking enforcement, noise ordinance policies that help and not hurt us, independent operators on committees as advisors, and bigger and better incentives for developers to lean into local. And an overall awareness by our local elected officials and city agencies of the importance of our value, where hopefully we can work together in a way that's more amicable and less confrontational. That's all I have. I'll take any questions or discussion.
Thank you. Board Member Vieira and then Carlson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Mr. DeGeorge, thank you for coming here and just for all your leadership on this issue. You know, this is a very important issue. When you and I spoke at the Crowbar at the Chuck Reagan concert, and we had a good frank talk on it, I'm late to this game. I am, but it's a hell of an important game. It is huge for Tampa, it's huge for Ybor City, and everything like that. You know, the issue here is small concert venues, and we asked you to come here to talk about not just your experience and history, but what we can do here in the CRA and in our city of Tampa to help out on this issue. This is made more relevant, obviously, by the closing of the Crowbar and the fact that we are in the aftermath still of the devastating hit of COVID-19, and a time in which you arose, sir, as a great civic and business leader, and all of our hats are off to you for that, because that's something that's very important. Obviously, Crowbar, 20 years, and very, very important. But the issue of rising costs, like you said, the post-COVID inflation that has just hit everybody, parking costs and throughout the city of Tampa, the aftermath of COVID, and also a venue that I think can have a good presence in the city of Tampa, but it's got to coexist, a 4,300 seat venue, but it's also got to coexist with small venues. And we got to talk about how we can accommodate, encourage, incentivize, and push as a city these small venues. Obviously, I come to this as a person who is a big concert fan, always have been, and smaller venues are a great place where new artists and medium artists and different folks can obviously be recognized. And we have to ask ourselves, you know, why small venues are so important to a city like the city of Tampa. It obviously allows musicians to earn a living, something that's very important. Not every musician is the Rolling Stones or Bruce Springsteen or Snoop Dogg. It allows for music education and to encourage younger folks and different folks to go into music. You support small bands, you support support local communities. It's a very organic expression of communities. And you also recognize, I think you always talk about, which is that these small venues are also community centers that reflect the values of the community, especially Ybor City and the unique culture that we have there. It's a starting point for artists. We know that before Bruce Springsteen would sell at Madison Square Garden, Stone Pony, right? And it allows folks to get a great start. And it can also be a safe space. We see that a lot in Ybor City, that after a lot of tragedies that have accounted on the basis of race, sexual orientation, and so forth, that these small venues can reflect the values of the community in a way that big venues cannot, and the healing power of music can obviously go forward. But the biggest thing isn't just the effect that this has on a city, but how concerts, and I know you speak a lot to this, Mr. DeGeorge, but how concerts cannot become so corporate, and that there's a heart of music, there's a heart of rock, there's a heart of hip hop, there's a heart of jazz, there's a heart of a concert. And if it becomes so starched and so put in khakis and driven there in a Volvo all the time, then you just miss out what a concert is all about. And if we get rid of that in Ybor City and the city of Tampa, we're going to be much worse off because of it. So I guess my question to you is, sir, you mentioned some things. What specifically can we do as the city of Tampa? You're talking about working with Congressman Frost, which is great. What can we do here to help encourage small venues in Ybor City and throughout our city of Tampa to coexist and succeed?
I think I touched on some of them at the end of my comments. I think we just need like smart city legislation that, you know, when it comes to parking and noise ordinances, that we're keeping these venues in mind and asking them their opinions. I know for me personally, parking was a very difficult situation when we started charging for parking in Ybor City. I bring that up because it's something that many of our members deal with, not just, you know, here in Tampa and in Florida, but around the country. Once they started charging for parking, not only was there no free parking in the area, but the spaces I would rent for my tour buses, for my vans, went up exponentially. When I tried to talk to city leadership in those departments about it and said, you know, listen, you know, I understand if you're going to charge for parking, but if you're charging me for the vehicles that are going to drive people into the district, that then those people are not only just going to pay for parking, but they're going to go to dinner at Rizzoli, they're going to go to dinner at Bernini's, they're going to shop at La France, they're going to stay at the hotels. If you're charging me more and I'm already not sustainable, you are going to hurt me. And that completely fell on deaf ears. So my parking went up exponentially. Half the time there would be city officials parked in my spaces when a tour bus did arrive. I was denied any sort of possibility to have freight zone parking to you know, which would have been great to have free parking to park buses. And so when you have these type of businesses, which I call anchor businesses, that sit there and support other businesses, I do think we should have some sort of special consideration to make our lives a little bit easier, knowing that we're going to provide this economic boost to the neighborhood that we are in. And so when those conversations fall on deaf ears, that's a little difficult. And I also touched on, you know, additive incentives for developers to lean into local. I've never said I was opposed to a 4,300 person venue coming into this market. I am vehemently opposed to Live Nation coming into this market. I think when you have the largest music corporation in the world that was just found guilty by a jury of our peers in federal court of being monopoly, and we haven't even found out what the punishment of that is going to be, which, by the way, I hope it is extremely severe. And we're still looking at bringing that organization into our community, knowing that it will be a detriment to our independent operators. Anybody can look at Live Nation venues and when they vertically integrate into markets and what those 4,300 person rooms look like, and they're intentionally scaled for smaller shows too. So they will be in that 2,000 person range. It will do things to hurt venues like the Orpheum, Janus Live. you know, this isn't just a Tampa issue, or an Ybor issue, it's a Tampa Bay issue. So, you know, we just have to be very careful. Fully supportive of the Venick Room that's going to be open, which is a little bit over 3,000. Have had great communication with them about how they can add to the community. And I just, you know, I think listening and having independence with the seat at the table can go a long way, especially working hand in hand with CRA boards or city council, because a lot of decisions can be made there that can either help us or bury us.
Thank you, sir. And in closing, just for 30 seconds, may I?
Move to allow him 30 seconds.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. I guess we'll have a timer for that. No, but I'd love to see some sort of a task force here in the city of Tampa, and whoever becomes the next mayor, whether it's Councilor Carlson, Hurtak, whoever it may be, to take on this issue with vigor, because it is so important, you know. But again, thank you, sir. So I'll let others. Thank you, ma'am.
Board Member Carlson?
Yeah, thank you for your leadership over the years. It's been fun to watch you go from a leader and icon in the music industry and in Ybor to someone running for office and then testifying in front of Congress. It's been fun watching that arc. You know, that requires a lot of work and you know, investment on your part. You and I have had this conversation, and as my colleague said, innovation is really important in our community. Years ago, the radio stations went to using single servers on a national basis, so we're all listening to the same music. In the old days, a DJ could pick music based on what the local audience wanted, so you could have different tastes and flavors, and differences were localized, and that's where innovation came from. And the same thing with these music venues. We need to figure out how to support those. We get emails from some of your wide fan base who say, please do all you can to support these venues, but what we need is specific action steps with the knowing and limitations of the state and federal government. We can't, as far as I know, we can't block specific companies from coming in. You remember a few years ago I tried to put a ban on chain stores in Ybor because some other cities had it, and the lawyers shut us down on it. But anyway, what I suggest is that you, with your now national expertise, come to one or more of us, work out specific motions that we can make, and then get your followers to help support us on getting those motions passed. Because I think we all would like to support you and the music scene. We just need to know exactly what we can do to help move it forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Maniscalco?
Real quick, no, thank you for your leadership on this. I mean, you are the champion of this. You know, protecting small venues. Small venues are so important. I mean, you can go back to the Beatles at the Cavern Club, or bands that have come locally. I put on Facebook, and you had responded to it. I called, it was San Francisco City Hall, to speak to a council member there about something that they were doing. And the legislative aide said, we love Tampa, and we love Dochi, and all this. And you said, you know, her beginnings, you know, her early start was at the Crowbar.
Yeah.
And now she is a Grammy Award winner. So that's how things start. It's the local venues, it's the small groups, you know, or small organizations, and we have to protect that. Because I mean, that is the gateway to stardom. That is the gateway to employing a lot of local individuals, giving people a start. I mean, there's just so many positives of that. And you having survived along with others and leading the charge during COVID, when people were essentially forced to be out of business. You talked about not getting your funding for over a year. You said July 2021, COVID, everything started March 2020. I mean, a lot of people did not survive. A lot of people are paycheck to paycheck. They're not making that next month's rent. So it was a battle. But as Tampa grows and we have new, I like that you said, you're not against these small venues. You're against a specific organization, how you laid it out, that was found to be a monopoly, and whatever the penalties are, you know, may be severe. But at the end of the day, we have to protect the mom and pops, right? And that's what brings that's what makes the character of the community. And that's what helps so many people get off the ground. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Clendenin?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. Board Member Vieira
Oh,
and
no,
then
he can,
Clendenin.
he
You
can
sure?
vote.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am,
Board Member
please.
Clendenin.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, though.
Beauty before
There you go.
before lawyers. Tom, or Mr. DeGeorge, I appreciate that you bringing this forward. I fully support looking to incentivize and figuring out ways to incentivize small venues. And, we have this rich history in small venues in the Tampa area. I mean, Janus and Skippers and, obviously Crowbar and others. Some others that have gone and, by the wayside. And it definitely creates the cultural richness in a community and cultural identity to have these types of, I can't imagine, Tampa Bay without a proliferation of small venues to continue to really be you think around the country and these places that these great artists have started, they never start in an amphitheater. Great artists start in small venues. So I appreciate you being the advocacy for this, and I look forward to working with this board and also a city council to be able to continue this agenda. Thank you.
Board Member Vieira?
Yes, ma'am. And I was going to ask Mr. George about a motion I was going to maybe make this evening, which is how would you feel, sir, about my making a motion where we request a written report from you? You don't have to come here, you can submit it, and then we review it at a council meeting on specific policy items. That night at the Chuck Reagan concert, I was with my son and then a good friend of mine who's an attorney who I know wanted to work with you on those things. Where you can come with specific items, maybe by October, and then you submit the report to us, 1 to 2 pages. Is that something you'd be amenable to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so I'll do it so that we get more latitude and all that. I'll do it at City Council as opposed to CRA. So I will do that this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Board Member? Oh, well, no, I was just going to say thank you so much for coming in and giving us that, awesome report. Before I was married, one of the concerts that my husband and I went to was at the Crowbar, and it was to see Jameson. After, I had an event in Ybor, and I went over to see one of my favorite artists at the Ritz. And so, the feel that you get at these small, venues is very intimate, so I appreciate you just bringing it to light and being a champion behind it, and thank you. Thank you. All right, all good. All righty, thank you very much.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
in the interest of time, we had initially requested a written report on item number 7, so I would just say we receive and file that, a motion to receive and file.
Okay, I have a motion to receive and file item number 7 from Board Member Clendenin, a second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I also would say for item number 8, I would make a motion to remove that from this agenda and future agendas. And item 9 kind of covers that, and we've had this discussion with the Chief Tripp about it. So I think we should remove item 8 from the agendas.
Okay, so we
Motion to
have
remove.
a motion to remove item number 8 from the agenda from Board Member Clendenin, a second.
From the agenda and going forward. Yeah.
To remove item number 8 from the agenda and going forward. We have a motion from Board Member Clendenin, a second from Board Member Miranda. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
And
opposed?
And a motion, okay, I'm sorry.
Hold
and a
on,
motion-
hold on. So we remove item number 8 from this agenda and from any further discussions.
That's right.
And a motion
Okay.
to continue per staff's request, item number 9 to
Second.
October 8, 2026.
We have a motion from Board Member Clendenin, a second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're at required approvals?
Yes.
Okay, so under required approvals, number 10, we have a CAC appointment of Ansley Blackwell. She is going to be the Barrio Latino Commission ex officio representative. We had Roberto Torres in that position, and he rotated off the Barrio, so now the Barrio has appointed Ansley Blackwell. And just
Motion to
looking-
approve.
Second,
have-
well, and just want to say real quick, so for those who don't know Ansley, she's very involved with Ybor City, with the Centro Studiano, wonderful asset, because as we move forward as a city, it's good to see the younger generation, because I think she's in like her early or mid-20s, and her mother's also very involved, so it's good to see folks that, are young and interested in preserving our history, so
Thank you, I agree.
a super yes on that one.
We have a super yes.
A super yes for me, too.
We have a motion from Board Member Clendenin and a super yes from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome, all
And I
righty.
make a
Thank you.
motion to approve item number 11.
And we have a motion to approve item number 11 from Board Member Clendenin, second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Now, we have any new business? Anyone have any new business?
I do.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Board Member Clendenin, Maniscalco, then Carlson, and then Vieira.
Okay, a motion to continue file number CM 26-25343, which creates the standard rules and procedures for all committees and boards from September 10th, 2026 to November 12th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion from Board Member Clendenin, a second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, I'd also make a motion to set a special call CRA meeting on Thursday, August 27th at 10 a.m. to direct legal department and the city clerk to provide notice.
We have a,
Is that for the next Thursday, just holding the space just in case, yeah.
we have a motion from Board Member Clendenin, a second. A second from Board Member Vieira. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, and that's all.
Okay, that's it. All righty. Board Member Maniscalco?
I just want to remember Andy Hughes, who was a local historian, a writer, on the 1-year anniversary of his passing. You know, a tremendous loss that will never, you know, a void that will never be filled. So for somebody that loves and cares about Tampa history, he is one of the giants. I mean, many books that were written. I have one in my living room. I mean, I can go on and on forever, but I just wanted to acknowledge, you know, on the first anniversary of his passing, a great individual that touched many lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I,
Okay, and Board Member Carlson?
his friends are asking us to do a posthumous commendation for him. Guido, do you want to make the motion for the posthumous commendation for him, or?
We'll be there tonight. Do it from the city council.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So I talked to Cliff about this morning. The documents for the raised project for the city should be coming out today. I don't know if they are or not, but anyway, they're asking us to approve it next Thursday if possible. So that's something we can talk about later, but embedded in that is several requests related to the CRAs, like was mentioned earlier, extending the East Tampa CRA. Instead of addressing those individually, those have to move forward parallel. As I understand it, the contract is going to have some covenants in it that will require those things to happen, but we need those things to move forward on a parallel basis, and we only meet once a month. So I would just like to make a generic motion to ask the CRA attorney to draft documents necessary to implement the CRA promises made in the raise contract and to present them to the CRA board on September 10th.
Second. So we have a motion from Board Member Carlson, a second from Board Member Vieira.
I would actually, and now thinking about what you just said, I would probably make it broader so that it doesn't confine it to just the contract, so that in case something happens to the contract, we can still talk about extending and not tie it to the contract directly. So maybe a motion to ask the city attorney to draft documents necessary to implement
Like raise contract in it.
Well, extension of the CRAs, and then this, so that we don't tie, so that in case something happens with this, we can still have that conversation about extending.
So how about if we just say the raise contract and related documents?
Or, well, I don't know if it's, I don't know, because let's say for some reason that fails, I think we should still have that conversation.
Yeah, well, we can, if it fails, we can
Yeah.
have the conversation anyway.
Okay.
My take in talking to county commissioners and the county is that
Yeah, I think you're right, but I was trying to
that
break.
the only reason they're interested in doing any of that for us is because we would get that passed.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've tried a couple times before, but
Right.
I think they're going to say no to everything else if we say no to that.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I was trying to
Yeah.
broaden the net, but, okay.
So we have a motion from Board Member Carlson, a second from Board Member Vieira. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that motion, because that was something that when we first started having this discussion, that I brought up of wanting to actually, if, wherever this goes, if that could be a part of the conversation. And I think we heard it in public comment today, the extension of the East Tampa CRA, and I know they have lots of projects and things, so.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I appreciate your championship on that too, and I know that you've been a part of that. And honestly, and Councilman Carlson, the same thing. I think between the two of you guys, it just goes to show when more people are involved in something, you can get to a better place. And I think that, obviously some of my positions on these projects have been clear, but I think the leadership that's provided from the chair and from council and board member Carlson and Councilman Carlson and other capacities on this shows that we can move forward as a community and make it not just a win-win-win, but with the capital W on it. Big W win for everybody, including the folks in East Tampa, West Tampa, the whole city of Tampa, because of changes in downtown. We'll be able to do more revenue sharing, so there's a lot more things that we can do for the city of Tampa. And I appreciate both of y'all's leadership on that.
And I probably got the idea from you, so take credit for it. Also, by the way, Commissioner Myers has requested that we try to extend the West Tampa one also. And I think if we try to extend all of them, the legislature might come slap us, but if we just try to tweak a few of them, then we can do it. Some folks have said, well, what does, for example, East Tampa CRA have to do with the raise deal? And the one is trying to build consensus around the community and build something positive for everybody. But the other thing is that, this is a bad analogy, but if you're buying a car and you've negotiated the price and everything, and then you walk through the service department, you see this really cool jacket with the logo on it, and you say, hey, if you throw in the jacket, I'll do the deal, right? So what I was trying to do, and I think some of you all have been independently too, is just saying, hey, what else can we throw in? Let's get everything we can, let's get everything else we can for our community while we're doing what the county is requesting.
No, it's good. It's really good positive movement. I'm really happy to hear that as well.
Board Member Vieira?
Yes, ma'am, if I may. Y'all got my very long correspondence on Dr. Bernard Lafayette, and so, oh, I know, right? And when I wrote this, by the way, Councilman Carlson, I was laughing at some of your critiques of my resolutions, how long they are, and this is 5 pages. When I was a younger attorney, I remember writing. Short. Oh, no, I know, right? I know. But I remember being a younger attorney and writing a status report from my boss at the time, and him saying, Louis, there's a saying, which is, I didn't have the time to write you a short letter. So, which I always cite that. But if I may, I've already spoken to Mr. McCrae on this, and you all have seen obviously the history of Mr. Lafayette, who was a great American and a champion of social justice and civil rights. And so I'd like to put this on the agenda on October and invite former State Representative Edna Rain, who gave me the idea, to come talk about this and why we can do this in Tampa. And it would be similar, Board Member Hurtak had asked as to whether or not we need to go through the renaming process. This is not unlike what we're doing for Lieutenant Lopez, Baldomero Lopez. So that's my motion for October, if I may.
So I have a motion from Board Member Vieira, a second from Board Member Maniscalco. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. What about me?
And I want to make a statement too before.
Board Member Clendenin.
Just in the interest of sunshine, because if somebody saw that I handed out documents, people understand that what I handed out was next Thursday at the council meeting. I'm proposing the investigation, and this is further information, a resolution about funding and a impact statement that I had drafted. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that information so you guys had plenty of time to look through everything and make sure everybody. Yeah, that's one I passed down. Yeah.
Okay. I have something.
I'm on the deck or whatever.
Thank you. Well, no, I want to thank the board, our CRA board, and also thank our staff, Ms. Melissa Martinez, for 18 years with the city. Thank you. Since becoming chair of this board, the CRA staff has been incredibly helpful to me in making sure that I'm, well informed. Any questions that we have, our office has, they answer the call. And so I appreciate you all. And I think the conversation we had, conversation is good, lively conversation is good. And I think it shows that our passion as a board, that we really, we want to see projects get done, but we also take our job seriously. And as you said, we do have a fiduciary responsibility. So I appreciate the conversation that we had. I think that it's healthy and it's good. And then just to everyone that came down today, they're not in the chambers now, but I know they'll probably watch it later, from the comments about, what is happening with, TPD but wanting to see, positive things happen in the CRA. I appreciate everyone that was coming down, and we just want to assure you all that we heard you, we hear you, and we are making the necessary steps, as public servants to address those things. And for me, just as CRA chair, one of the things that I've been working on, and I've talked with the CRA staff about this, is wanting to really see these projects move forward. And we all are committed to doing that. So please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call us. I always say that our office is always open. If you have a question about something with CRA, call the staff. Call our office. We are, open books, and we're, ready to talk and work things out. So that's all. Just wanted to thank you all very much. Very, very good meetings. You can go eat now.
Good meeting.
We have a motion to receive and file from Board Member Maniscalco.
Oh, second, I'm sorry.
Second from Board Member, Jesus.
I
Second
know.
from Board Member Vieira, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
See you at 5:01 p.m.
Oh, see you at 5:01 p.m. for an evening meeting. No food tonight? That means we won't be here forever.